instead. That's nice to see. So even though we haven't seen North Georgia really be able to march forward with a lot of convincing attacks, at least the back line up until now has been secure. Can't get the read on the bounce, and that's finally our first goal. 10 seconds to go for Kennesaw trying to close this one out.
Yeah, still with the pressure here from Kennesaw. Now only our second demo. This one from downtown, and that's going to be an own goal here at 3 seconds. We spoke a little too soon here, Danger Talk. Slavip, left side, little tap, not really taking away possession. Now definitely does. This player going up, the double tap. Hugh-Dog and North Georgia come from behind victory with the Puma symbol on the side. As
we've seen many time with new rosters in the beginning of the semester, this might be the first time these players are really playing together at all. So this is really setting the tone for how you guys all click together. Kwong trying to bury one here on the near post, and he does just that. Better. Might be able to pad those stats. Kwong throwing it right back in. That should be open, but it's just wide instead.
Almost gets the nose down onto it. A couple members fighting, twisting, and now an open net the other way going for North Georgia. Nobody's almost hitting payload. Now is Joel. A little soft hit right there. Kind of just puts it in the breadbasket of a couple North Georgia players. That's really, really bad as this one comes all the way down from the other side.
Being able to con the defense out of a clear that gets you the ultimate goal, as we will be able to enter into that 1-1. Maybe not for long as that clear gets away. Hugh-Dog into Archie, and well worked from North Georgia. Safe to the side. They're feeling like heroes. They're keeping it up. Slavip into the ceiling. Sharky doesn't get it. Joel with a deflection. It's Quonk at 0. Hugh-Dog in the way. Another save. North Georgia will very much so take that ball hitting the grass. Overtime somehow.
Now coming up for the serve. Hugh-Dog down. That's a bouncer just a little bit too high though as Sharky tries to continue the theme. Down bottom. And Archie does it here for North Georgia. Set up all day long. Now shoots in right now, but Quonk is going to win that 50. He's screaming off to the side. Bounce off some wall and now in his middle until North Georgia gets another shot at it.
Let's be open for Hugh-Dog, and they will make no mistake. Kwong, I gotta say, a great effort, but sometimes you need something even greater. You're seeing a player get thrown all the way across, like Joel's really just flailing, and you're thinking, okay, well, I probably have enough time to go to the corner, and then instead, it is in your net, something they're becoming quite familiar with as a feeling. There's number.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Esports U. We've got a bit of SSBU happening here today. ECC. I am Sebulance, joined by Piranha Plant, joined by Soy, who's also a spaceman. Halloween might be over, but we simply do not care. We get to do what we want. So we are dressed up just one more time here on November 1st to celebrate. And Soy, today's matchup, I mean, there's going to be some tricks. There's going to be some treats for somebody, but somebody's losing a win streak tonight.
Yeah, both players coming in undefeated here, Thrigs versus Payne, and this one should be a fun one, right? We talked about the characters off stream a little bit, but it should be expecting something along the lines of Hero versus either Sephiroth or Yoshi, potentially a third one thrown into the mix, and you love a good Hero player, right? Those Hero players are just, they live and die by that menu, and it's, Payne is one of those players.
Down. I was so impressive that when I saw them at ECC this most previous year, I had to compliment them on the performance because it had stuck in my brain so consistently, and today, I'm looking forward to Payne playing that Hero, bringing out that top dog performance. But like you said, Thrigs is bringing out Sephiroth or Yoshi, which are very, very different characters at their fundamental here. And I'm wondering if Hero is going to be able to adapt fast enough. And at the end of the day, Hero is just kind of an RNG simulator anyway. So it's like a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to like counterplay a
exactly,
hero player because you never know what that menu's gonna pull up. But on the flip side here for Thrigs, Yoshi and Sephiroth, while the gameplay feels very different, you can kind of see some of the fundamental stuff is still there of just kind of outspacing your opponent, throwing out those solid nairs to potentially get combo starters going, and you've got that short, quick projectile in the egg or the side B to quickly utilize to get back. So while they do move and function very differently, there are still some things like going for shield break setups that are also very potent in their kits. So you can see some similarities between the two. And it goes to show, too, that if you have two very different characters like that and you're able to play well at both of them, shows a solid mastery of the game.
Yes, it's something that I just got a little bit of confirmation on during the button check. Payne, instead of SDing, went out of his way to find Kamikaze in the hero menu to wrap up his first stocks. And what production calls him out for, he says, "I am a man of culture, Payne." That you very much are. Nicely done. A good and funny way to kick things off tonight. But I'm really looking forward to this matchup because I feel like while we are seeing characters that are pretty conventional, right? I think, I'm not surprised to see a Sephiroth. I'm not surprised to see a Hero. I think these are going to be characters that, as you mentioned, Soy, can be particularly difficult to counter. Hero, of course, due to the infinity of all the options that he can have and all the massive changes he can continue to make moment after moment. But on the other side, Sephiroth, I feel like, unlike a lot of characters in this game, does have some pretty variable play styles. You're not playing a Sephiroth the same way every time you run into one. These Sephiroths can find a rushdown combination. They can find a bit of a slow, long distance projectile combination. They can go for the counter or the deflect very often. And it's going to be up to Payne to not only get lost in their own possibilities and optimizations, but to try to work around the very same being brought to the table by Thrigs.
It's interesting too because, like you said, these characters, they're both sword wielders, right? They both, typically the sword game plan is to just wall you out, poke away at you. But both of these characters are unique in a way that that's not their only real game plan here. They're able to look forward to in this match.
Yeah, this is going to be a match starting on Pokemon Stadium 2 as well. They're going to go ahead and send for the gentlemen's, which you've always got to appreciate, honestly. You got to respect. Going to PS2, and I'll say it every time because I always think it's hilarious. It is the least fair stage we've ever seen. It's like, yes, some characters have a better advantage on it than others, but everybody just kind of calls it that middle ground, that mainstay. And as we jump into Pokemon Stadium 2, the thing I'm most excited to find out, we've talked a lot about Sephiroth. Yoshi is, according to statistics, just as possible to see.
Yeah, and Yoshi's defense is going to be tough to break through for Hero, right? That jump armor can be good. The projectiles Yoshi can throw out, that egg comes out pretty quickly, so it's not the easiest thing for Hero to deal with. And that neutral air is one of the strongest in the game, so it's just a really big, wall to try and deal with. And Yoshi's combo game is always shockingly good, right? All they need is one up tilt, one jab, and all of a sudden your percent goes from 5 to 20 to 40. It's like you got hit like 2-3 times, and so Payne's defense will also have to be ready for that style in case that's what comes through, is that Yoshi pick. But PS2 in theory gives you just enough space, which is why a lot of people like that matchup, right? While it does favor a character here or there, you've got just enough space to work with and just enough on that platform where it's placed on the stage to be able to kind of navigate there, that you can get into a bunch of different scenarios. But like you said, best of
the Yoshi pick is, of course it's going to be Yoshi because we talked so much about Sephiroth, right? Just kind of rule of, we talked about one character, it has to be the other one. And excuse me, Thrigs bringing out this Yoshi is going to be fascinating, but I think it's going to be a little easier for Payne to find consistent value up close and personal, to get in the way and stay in the way, versus Thrigs has to play very close quarters, has to get that damage off very effectively, very early, and very consistently. As you mentioned, Soy, that combo going out the door, Yoshi needs to find combos to get success, and I think Payne on Hero makes that a little bit harder than normal.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, I think Thrigs kind of knows that that's the game plan, especially with Bounce Online too, that they
Right.
have to get in, they have to get those combos. But Pain right now, with that Thunder, that is going to be a real issue for Yoshi because of the distance and kind of coverage that move provides. So right now, looking at a decent lead here for Thrigs, and they're able to also threaten off stage. You can tell with that forward air too, the way that Yoshi kind of moves in the air means that Pain and Disadvantage is really going to have a struggle to try and get out, but they are able to get out for the moment. Still looking for a way to take this first stock, but they'll have to just back away and get those boosts.
Both players low, and Thrigs is going to be taken out of the way. A good opening from Pain, full rage hero on the board. And of course, we've got to talk about the variety, the literal RNG of the existence of that hero menu, where a couple of moves will be more or less likely depending on your percentage or your location on the map. But overall, it is majority random. So Pain has to have an inherent performance on basic hero and rely on those as an additional tool, not the consistent kill condition that you're not going to be running into very often. So Pain playing a lot of RNG, playing a lot of versatility, and Thrigs will be able to break through that bounce, take that first stock offline. Oh, an early psych up is huge, though.
Big psych up here, but not going to be able to get too much. Oh, dash attack gets interrupted there. Could have been a lot of damage. Goes for oomph now instead. Gets grabbed, so one power goes away. Not too much off the back of it. Thrigs just kind of generally covering where he thinks Pain is going to go. Pain able to drift away and get out of that combo. Getting out of those combos is going to be massive here for Pain, but all these grabs, all this shield pressure, it's doing a decent amount of damage, but there's the combo, and what a good setup, just barely connecting on it, but it was a perfect up B into up smash.
I mean, the door was open, and it just got slammed closed. Up B into up smash. The Thrigs literally could not get out of the way in time, and Pain gives themselves an early advantage. Now, something of note, Sword, that I'm not sure if we've had the chance to bring up yet, Thrigs has not lost a single game. I'm not talking series, I'm talking game. Everything has been a 3-0 in favor of Thrigs, and right now things are not turning up quite like that. We're seeing a very large performance here for Pain, so if they lose this stock, they've got one more opportunity, and Pain has gone to Game 5, I believe, more than once this season as well. So there's a lot of opportunity for Pain to try and turn this around, but if Pain breaks Thrigs out of that perfect 3-0 series, it shows there's plenty of game left to be played.
I like that setup there with the down B, but they don't quite connect on it. Forward air will knock him away for the moment. Tried to call it a jump with that up B as well. There's the down B to come through, so Pain drops down to their last stock, but Thrigs has so much work to do here at 102.
102, a lot of work here, indeed. Oh, what a beautiful down arrow. Goes for the up air, not able to find it as Pain air dodges through. The egg is out, the bounce is out. The Sizz finds no value in the down aerial. Going to be eaten by that shield all the same. Center stage control definitely in favor of Pain, but Thrigs is really starting to warm up. 81% out of this third and final stock. This elimination could be coming out very soon.
Up B connects. Forward smash will not. This is a great comeback so far, but it's not done yet. Gotta find something. Neutral B will knock him away. Up B will only find the shield. Roll behind was dangerous, but Pain went for a grab instead. Just trying to use that sword to wall out. He gets the grab into up throw, and the mix-up will take game 1.
A very strong performance from Pain. Now things get a little too close for comfort there, but Pain is beauty after all, and that was a beautiful play from that hero there from FSU. I've got to say, things got a little bit scary. We saw an opportunity. We were almost 3 stocks to 1 in favor of Pain, and then all of a sudden, Pain loses 2 stocks. We're down 1-1, and Thrigs finds a good turnaround, but the Yoshi doesn't work out well enough. I've got to say that I'm actually going to caveat that sentence immediately. I don't think it was the Yoshi's fault. I think Pain just found the appropriate outplay. I think Thrigs did everything right they could have on Yoshi.
Yeah, very, very even game between these two. Even though, like you said, it got to be a long road back for Thrigs, they were able to battle it back, get them up to over 100%. Just at the end there in that scramble situation, the dash in gets caught by that grab from Hero, and it's a mix-up, right? Because we hadn't seen Pain get a grab really that entire game, and it had mostly been the opposite. It had been Thrigs mostly getting the grabs with Yoshi, getting that damage, getting that shield pressure, but the one time he goes for it, and on top of that, to go for up throw there, it's not a common kill move for Hero, right? When you think of Hero kills, you're thinking of, getting forward airs off the side, forward airs and back airs, getting a critical hit on a smash attack. You almost never think of the grab, but Pain able to find that window of opportunity, and with the I believe it was either Oomph or one of the power-ups online as well. That extra added knockback to it was perfectly timed by Pain, and because of that, they're able to steal game 1.
The game 1 sneak attack is unbelievably beneficial for Florida State's Pain, trying to keep that undefeated streak alive. And while Thrigs has lost their first official game, so to speak, they've not lost the series yet, not even close. So they're going to be able to get a pretty strong start. Magic Burst comes out, and MP Sacrifice, very punishable move, and Thrigs does just that. A lot of damage up and out on the board here, Soy. And I just don't think Thrigs can find the answer out. The kill conditions is not there yet. Pain racking up as much free credit as they can.
I did really like the game plan, though. Once he saw that Magic Burst come out, he immediately throws out that projectile, and then he goes to try and read the landing with that forward smash, and then he punishes a simple roll in with that up tilt. So just like that, one move, one wrong input on that menu, using up all that magic, and all of a sudden, Thrigs has evened out the percent and taken a lead because of it. Really is 132 to 89 here. It's going to take a little bit for Thrigs or for Pain to really battle back. Metal Slash not used, but so many dangerous options in that menu. Up B connects here. Forward air dodged away. Good patience, but punished by the back air, and Thrigs has the lead.
Thrigs takes the lead as the back air does get that punish ability. Thwack is ready, but it will be jumped up and over. It's Pain's job now to close this gap as fast as possible, because every hit that is found by Thrigs right now is fundamental extra credit that gives them an advantage going into that secondary stock. 31% on the board. The number continues to go up as Pain just cannot find those hits. This Yoshi continues to be slippery. 60% on the board now.
The movement from Thrigs is so solid. And like you said, just being able to weave around the cross-ups too. That multi-hit's so dangerous that you have to hold your shield. And when you're holding it for that long, you're not sure whether they'll end up in front or behind you after the move. That aerial drift is so difficult to read. And Pain is really struggling to track them down afterward to try and get these punishes. Hero also not the fastest character, so it's not like they can quickly turn around either. That sword takes a second to wind up, but that dash attack will connect and catch Thrigs. So back to a tie game in terms of stock count, but still, now it's Pain at 120% deficit.
120% on the board versus only 30 to Thrigs. Going to be racked up to the 50% now. Pain able to close that gap just a little bit, but you've got to close it a lot more in a circumstance like this. I think Yoshi's speed is one of the most advantageous positions that they are currently in. They're catching Pain off guard. Hero cannot turn or react fast enough, as you mentioned earlier, Soy, and I think Thrigs is starting to notice that. Getting those openings early, getting those shots out the gate, and finding a close enough space to make it difficult for Pain to react. Also, I'm noticing that Thrigs is transitioning more into a bit of a rushdown style, going more toward not allowing Pain to use that menu at all. And as Pain goes to find an opportunity to strike, Thrigs takes them right into that blast zone to the far left. Up now, an entire stock on the board.
So the problem right now for Thrigs, or for Pain, is that they have so much advantage when they've got access to the full menu. But once they're down below, I'd say 30 or so, all of a sudden they have to, approach Yoshi. And like we said, Thrigs has been slippery on this Yoshi. They have been elusive. And so the movement right now is favoring Thrigs, although that dash attack will again catch them. That's all the boosts coming into effect there. And just like that, it's a tie game. But again, Pain has to work so much harder when he's at these lower magic levels. And Yoshi, just with the movement, can get a lot of damage for Pain trying to initiate.
Yeah, I'll keep it 100%. I'd be furious if that dash attack killed me. That is absurd that it kills off the top of the blast zone, almost to the far left, and Pain gonna be thanking their lucky stars they found it, because now they are able to equalize this fight. Down about 50% on the board right now, and not able to work with it much longer. I think this could be a Thrigs victory. We might get actually more than a 3-0 for the first time, what feels like all season, unless Pain can really turn this one around. But with only 50 MP, has to use some of it to get back on the stage, goes up and over towards center stage. Back hit onto Thrigs, 50% on the board, misses the up smash, the air dodge is perfect. Even the flame strike does not find anything. Kaboom though! Gets the opening, 90% on the board. Pain's done this once, can they do it again? Can they clutch out in this final moment?
Dangerous on the platform, low MP, forward aired away. Thrigs looking for the edge guard, no zoom available, has to quickly up B, rolled in, but the back air does not connect. Thrigs opts to back away, looking to buy some time, but Psych Up is now online.
Oh, no way!
Forward air will catch them, dashing in again. Pain once again comes up clutch in the red.
Pain with no love. Pain cannot get enough of these dash attacks, Soy. This is just a dominant performance out of what feels like one move and one move only. Oh, you can... Okay, I was holding up my... Okay, never mind. One move and one move only. It is just unbelievably difficult for Thrigs to get around this. Pain goes for the exact same stage bans, which makes me think we're going to end up on the exact same stage here. Pokemon Stadium 2 again, but I've got to say the clutch factor of Thrigs right now is undeniable.
Yeah, just playing so well despite, taking some of these deficits. And again, the adaptability, right? They have such agency when they've got all that magic built up, when they're above, that 30 marker, really. And even though they used it all on Kaboom to get Yoshi up to 80 or so on that final stock, you're thinking, okay, well, now they have to track them down. Now they have to, find an opening. Still able to do just that. And like you said, just finding ways to catch Thrigs the one time they're just doing something that seems natural, just trying to approach, just trying to get a little bit more damage, trying to find their one opening. They wall them out. They get a dash attack here or there. That last stock taken via forward air with all the power-ups online. Fantastic to see from Pain.
And speaking of fantastic, we've got 2 swaps. Not only onto Sephiroth, but onto Hollow Bastion. We're not running it back on Pokemon Stadium 2 this time. And I feel like Pain may be a little more comfortable in this Sword v Sword matchup. That's already showing, actually, 45% to 0. Gets to check out the menu for the first time in a long time. Kaboom will miss, but the secondary hit will not. Bounce goes out, and a lot of utility from Thrigs is denied by that bounce alone. That's already a stock.
Oh, what a parry into dash attack. I mean, the catch there was great, and Pain has caught Thrigs time and time again with this dash attack. It is deceptively strong, and getting all those power-ups on it too. And I worry here for Thrigs because the movement on Sephiroth and Yoshi is very different, and this is a tall hitbox for that sort of hero to connect with. Unlike Yoshi, you don't have that armor unless you've got one wing out, and that's only, in very specific instances. So this should be Pain getting potentially earlier kills. But on the flip side, Thrigs should have the agency here in neutral with all that poke, all that range on the sword. The minute that meter once again is out, Thrigs should have the advantage.
Pain goes for the mid-menu heal off stage, barely able to get rid of that explosion due to the invincibility frames overturning to the ledge. 110 full stock in the lead, hits with another flare, and 71% for Thrigs. Sephiroth can live off stage for a decent while, not the most, but certainly not the least, and can utilize that offstage gameplay to get a little more aggressive, but aggression is the name of the game for Pain right now, and they're only 1 stock away from a 3-0 victory. A series that has felt so close has been almost secretly, unbelievably one-sided in a circumstance like this.
Gotta be very careful here if you're Thrigs. A couple of these landing aerials are just not connecting, and it's giving Pain the opportunity to build up even more extra credit. Back air will connect. Forward air will not. Pain will have to recover low, and that's a good catch from Thrigs. That down air is massive, poking below the stage. It will catch that up B, so 1 stock off the board, but still a substantial amount. That one move did 42? Hello?
Yeah, well, the psych up right before just almost immediately guarantees some kind of victory like that and some kind of advantage state for any damage-dealing move that you can offer in a circumstance similar to what we're getting the chance to witness now. Things are close for the time being, Soy, and it's going to be a little bit almost uncomfortable to be in the circumstance of Thrigs, because this is a winnable position. You keep Pain off stage, you utilize a lot of that MP, and you force them to utilize it to recover, makes it harder for them to use moves like that sizzle, like that explosive action, and oh my goodness, I'm like running out of things to say because I'm glued to this circumstance here. Thrigs can win it, and they're getting closer and closer, 1 hit at a time.
Low recovery here. When you're off stage, you're more likely to get zoomed. Good awareness by Pain there to just fade out and wait.
Okay.
And dash attack again gets the job done with the boosts enabled, and Pain will get a 3-0 sweep off the back of it.
I've got to say, Pain did a wonderful job, and Soy, while that is unfortunately going to be a pretty dominant 3-0 in favor of Pain, guess what? We have another best of 3, or first of 3, best of 5 series coming up after this one, so we can talk a little bit more about this, but I want people to run away because we're not done yet. There's more going on, but so I've got to say, Sephiroth v Yoshi, Yoshi seems infinitely better in that circumstance. It felt like Thrigs could not do much on the Seph.
I do like both ideas for both characters there. The problem was Thrigs just time and time again got caught by that dash attack. I've never seen a hero use that move so perfectly timed, because you've got to be very careful. There's a lot of end lag to that move. And I liked Yoshi a little bit more for the movement, the ability to cross up, get those combos online. But I think Thrigs just said, I'm lacking kill power here. They're beating me in the clutch moments. I need something with a little bit more volatility. And so they opt to go for the Sephiroth. But the problem is now the combo game comes online a little easier for Thrigs. So they're getting you up to kill percentage faster. And their hourglass just, I think, ticked away faster than they anticipated in that final game.
Yeah, I think it is going to be a bit of a one-sided matchup there, as the Sephiroth swap maybe was a bit of panic play. They were more warmed up on the Yoshi, and it did not work well. But we've got another series coming up after this, NYIT Rare Luke versus SNHU's Steven. So that matchup is going to be a bit of a banger. We'll be right back with it here on Esports U in just a couple of minutes. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to ECC SSBU here on Esports U. That is a lot of letters, but we are going to have, hopefully, and I say hopefully, a lot of fun. I am Septilence, joined by Spaceman Soy, and we are going to be jumping into this matchup, which, Soy, I gave a pretty raw reaction in the green room, but I'm not afraid to admit I'm not particularly excited for what we're being told we're about to watch.
Yeah, so we've got, for our matchup here, Rare Luke going up against Steven, which in theory
And it's
should
nothing
be
against them!
should be, in theory, the characters we heard were Mario versus either Banjo or Kirby. And those characters, I mean, the combo game is pretty linear, right? Mario, it's very much
Especially
ladder
Mario,
combos,
yeah.
especially Mario with the ladder combos, the stringing together up airs into the up B. Banjo and Kirby, you can get creative with some of them. Kirby is a little bit stranger, right? Because you don't see a lot of Kirby. Kirby is one of the ones where it's like everyone knows that this character is not highly rated.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you can get messed up by the combo game and kill power of this character. And Banjo works in a very different way from that, where it's like the combo game is still there, but it's not very extensive. And so your kill power is still potent, but you do have to be aware of if you avoid the early combos, in theory you should be fine. So curious to see what the game plan is. You know, do they opt for the Kirby into the Mario, or do they opt for the Banjo? Personally, I'd like the wait more of Banjo. Kirby dies really early, and Mario's got a
Mario hits hard.
Mario hits like a truck. So I'd love that ability to survive maybe a bit longer. Plus Wonder Wing is just the ultimate trump card that you get 5 of per stock. So I prefer that matchup, but I wouldn't be surprised to say, you know what, I just believe in my combo game more and see that Kirby come out.
I don't think it's impossible. I think believing in the combo game is definitely a possibility, all things considered. But I think Kirby into Mario, as you mentioned, it's tough to play close where Kirby has to play because Mario hits so unbelievably hard. Mario can take Kirby out, I'm willing to say maybe as low as like 40-50%. Like, it is very detrimental. It is very early on. You can take Kirby out of the equation. And I agree with you wholeheartedly, Soy. I think Banjo just fits the matchup a little bit better. I think there's a lot of room for growth and a lot of room for adaptability that Banjo can provide that we just don't tend to see as often with characters like Kirby. But there are Kirby players out there that are very talented. I say that not to be mean, I say that as a fact. You've mentioned it already. Kirby is not usually considered a very good character. But if you can play Kirby and actually utilize his eat ability and use somebody's own abilities against them, I mean, there are some incredible things to be done in consideration to that. So maybe we get a super cool combo breaker, insane top dog Kirby play, or maybe we just get Banjo. Ideally, I would like to get Banjo, but I'm not going to hate on Kirby that much.
I'll say this, though. When you're playing into Mario with these two characters, one thing that immediately comes to my mind for a window of opportunity is edge guard ability. Mario's recovery is really linear. It's really just the jump and up B. There's not a whole lot of variation to it. And so there's not even a lot of fade to those moves either. You do have a decent amount of aerial drift, I guess, as Mario on that jump. But the up B, once you've gone up at that angle, there's not a whole lot else to do. So I think that Kirby, with all those jumps, you could potentially get some good edge guards if you're able to get Mario off the stage. And Banjo's got the grenade, the pellets, the neutral B as projectiles that you could potentially get gimps off of. So I mean, there's windows for those two characters to take advantage of Mario. But the biggest thing I think is to get this Mario off the stage.
Yeah,
and that's easier said than done with these two characters.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the win condition is going to be, like you said, getting Mario off stage. Mario loves to ledge guard and can find a lot of versatility, a lot of ways to do that. We're talking the cape, we're talking the flood, we're talking the forward air. Mario has an infinite kind of arsenal of ways to keep you off stage. And I actually like something you do bring up there, Soy, of Kirby notoriously hard to edge guard. Little dude can just jump into the air forever. Like, it's very easy to get around a character like Mario in that ledge guard. So if we are seeing Kirby, I'm going to anticipate a very center stage style game. Our stage has been chosen already. It is Smashville. So there's going to be a little bit of platform to work with, but I feel like Kirby doesn't necessarily utilize platforms as much as Mario does. So I think, Kirby Mario at least in the button check as well. So we might be getting the Subspace Emissary first canonical matchup kind of deal of Mario v Kirby. But I think, I just need to see them play because every part of my instincts in my brain says Kirby should get smoked here.
It will be difficult, but I will say on a stage like Smashville, those kills can come very early, which, like you said, does play to the Mario's favor. But on the other hand, the combo game for both characters now is just through the roof with that extra platform. Mario, the ladder combo can go from the base platform to the next platform. You don't have to, get into a specific spot for it. For Kirby as well, you can potentially get those throw combos below the platform, on the platform. You can string together some up airs potentially. That up B from Kirby, really hard to cover and deal with as Mario outside of, say, Cape, but Cape's a little bit committal, so there's
that's true.
That minutia to it. Up B to escape some of those options. You can use that platform as an escape route for Kirby. So there's a lot of options. Not that massive platform is going to be plopped right in the middle of the stage here on Smashville.
Yeah, and Smashville is where we're going for matchup number 1. We're going to be running it down pretty quickly here. Steven versus Luke, or Rare Luke. I do think it's funny that they both just have their name as their name. I'm a big fan of that. As Septilence and Soy also do. Those are our real legal government names. New York Tech versus SNHU. And already we see Rare Luke going in for a pretty close quarters combat scenario. As I mentioned, that is where Kirby's going to be getting a lot of their value, but Mario just needs to hit you 5-6 times. It's funny that Mario may be considered the heavy in this situation due to the fact that Kirby is one of the lightest characters in the game.
And there's a lot of ways for these two to really beat up upon each other, right? You can see when one character's offstage, Steven already going for the stringing together of those up airs into the up B, and there's not enough jumps left on Rare Luke to be able to make it back, so they get that stock so early. And even when Rare Luke is offstage with this character, you can get caught by that Mario dash attack, and then it just resets the scenario with less jumps for you again. So Rare Luke, it's a real struggle for them to try and find anything here, but Steven doing a good job right now. This is like what you talked about, keeping them in the corner. Good up air reversal there by Rare Luke to be able to make it back to the stage. But Steven right now is still finding ways to string together these areas.
It's Steven's speed and prediction and counterplay that's making it really difficult for Rare Luke to do much of anything. Steven is the full proactive player right now, and with beautiful combos like that, grabbing the throw into that short hop forward air, one of the most recognizable eliminations in this entire game comes to fruition from Steven there once more. This is exactly what I had predicted, that Mario is going to run this city, and poor Rare Luke cannot run fast enough or far enough away to get away from a well-versed Mario player like Steven. Something I haven't had the chance to even bring up yet, Soy. If you're playing Mario in a game with dozens of characters, you're doing it for a reason. This is a character you are familiar with, one that you know very well, and one that Steven clearly just knows every in and out of.
Yeah, Mario is very well-rounded, but it's at a point where everyone kind of knows the kit. Everyone knows what this character brings to the table. No one's surprised by what their moveset does, but yet they still are able to find ways to get the job done. That one nearly able to take it. Up smash, still somehow surviving was Rare Luke. Opts to recover low this time. He'll get back to the ledge. Forward air from there. Not going to be able to do it, but back air into up smash. It's a 3 stock from Steven in game 1.
A 3 stock out the gate from Steven. A dominant performance. And Soy, I'm almost certain we're going to be jumping over to Banjo here, because everything that could have gone wrong in that Kirby scenario just did. It's very difficult to play Kirby. We talk about that a lot, and unfortunately it just does not work out as Rare Luke wanted it to. But Steven got to be feeling good after that. A 3-0 victory with a beautiful second stock take with the short hop forward air.
Yeah, and that situation was just a lose-lose, a pick your poison for Rare Luke, because if you hold in, you're going to get up aired, and that's how you get laddered. That's how the up air strings into the up B happens. So you can't hold in. But the recognition by Steven to say, well, if you hold out, I get a forward air here, and you're no longer on the stage because you're holding away from the stage. That was just the perfect recognition there from Steven to say, all right, he held out. Time to go for the funny aerial, and he was able to do it just like that. Take that second stock off the board. Got the first stock the same way very early, and Rare Luke just did not have enough jumps left. Already used to get up there. And that up B, just not enough verticality to it to be able to snap back to that ledge. But like you said, there's just so many different ways that Mario can, even though everyone knows what's in this kit, the movement, the positioning, the spacing, it was just so well executed that it felt like even when you had the potential to gain an advantage, it was quickly taken away. It was a lot of one and done.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm making a bit of a quizzical face here because we're running it back to Smashville, which almost guarantees me that we're seeing Banjo, right? There's no way you go to the stage you were just 3-stocked on and bring Kirby back to the battlefield. Maybe there's going to be a bit of a change of plans. Maybe they've got a bit of a newer, stronger performance coming out. But all things considered, going back to Smashville, a stage that Steven was obviously so clearly confident on, is very, very risky.
It is, but I do think we're probably going to see the Banjo switch here in Game 2. If they opt to stay to Kirby, well, let's actually see before we get there. No, they are just running it back to the Kirby. So they're saying, all right, the game plan didn't work in Game 1. Let me change some things up here in Game 2. Try to utilize this platform a little bit more maybe, and those stubby legs are not so stubby when you're using them. I mean, look at the combo game here from Rare Luke, already catching Steven up to 87%. Good early up B. If the aerial came out there from Rare Luke, Steven was likely dropping the stock.
A very strong early up B, but a dangerous one at that. So I'm now going to be keeping a very close eye on Rare Luke, because look at that. They found a combo. They got 87%, and they're dead at 62. I mean, there's the problem of playing Kirby. You had everything lined up. Oh, haha, forward air. There's your stock. There's all your effort, and I'm in the lead once again.
Oh, that one hurts too. Same situation, right? You hold in, you're getting up aired. You hold out, you're getting forward aired. And Rare Luke dropping that stock so early.
42%.
Yeah, they're already at 42. And again, it's not like Kirby, can survive at these stocks for very long. Mario's just got so much kill power in their kit between the aerials, all the smash attacks. This one, especially that one. And Steven showing they've got the reads too.
Steven just, insult to injury on an elimination like that one. Out the gate, takes you down with a charged forward smash to seal the deal, to clean things up, and to almost guarantee themselves a second game victory. Rare Luke on the Kirby really struggling, found one stock, gets a really strong combo here in the second, starting to get warmed up, but is it too late? Gets two-framed by the ledge there. The recovery from Steven shakes up the mix-up. Back air finds a weak hit. And Steven feels back in charge, goes for the forward air, not once, not twice, but thrice, and only one. Gonna be able to find that opening space. The up air's out twice more, back air gonna fall short, and it feels like Rare Luke's starting to run, starting to play a little bit spacier.
Rare Luke trying to space out.
Ooh, where you going?
Oh, the neutral air. I love the idea. He's trying to intercept some of these recoveries, some of these aerials. He's trying to punish, but these hitboxes are just barely off target. Steven is able to get around them, get the trades. The timing from Rare Luke is just barely off.
Ooh!
And that's going to be a reversal. Yep, got a little greedy there, Steven. The up B
just a
spikes
little.
there. Grabs the ledge, so an opportunity here for Rare Luke, but they have to play so carefully. They cannot afford another strong hit here.
We've gone from a 3-stock to a complete 1-to-1 on the board. Okay, never mind, we're done. Steven is going to go ahead and find that victory once more, but Rare Luke making it a hell of a lot closer than we had the opportunity to see, really overperforming on that Kirby, and I think giving us, unfortunately, a perfect example as to why Kirby is so hard to play, because even when you're playing your best, you're always one short hop forward air from death.
The problem was the attempted punishes there from Rare Luke were just barely off timed. Think of the up B.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
I agree.
Throwing out that neutral air is such a good idea because it's an active hitbox. It's just kind of covering the area in case he opts to fade away or maybe go early. He's just covering space with it. But the up B is able to sneak and weave through that spinning hitbox of Kirby, and it's able to get him back to the ledge. And that's an opportunity missed. That's an opportunity whiffed upon. You would think maybe I'll go for down air here, but all of a sudden that puts you below him. And so those opportunities you have to be able to execute on. If you're going to play Kirby at a high level, you cannot afford to give those up. And when those go awry, it gives Steven such a greater window of opportunity. It gives them such extra credit off the back, resetting situations where they were in advantage, putting them back into neutral because of it. So if Rare Luke can clean those up, we've got a very even game. But so far, they just have not been able to connect on them.
Yeah, something really fascinating is going into small battlefield here, going for the intentional choice of, do you want to be the cat or the mouse? Because, well, he's got nowhere to hide. Neither do you, Luke. And it feels like Luke has needed that just a little bit more, at least as far as we've gotten into this matchup through and through. But Soy, right now, I've got to say, the odds are not feeling super duper confident in favor of our friends here on the side of NYT. I want to see a bit of a stronger performance, and Luke's able to find it. About 9 hits, get 78%. This Mario hit you twice, and you're at 25.
35 off the dash attack too. Rare Luke trying to find a way back. The other scary part too is if Rare Luke does not take this stock in the next, I'd say, 30-ish% or so,
Yep.
that's all that rage on Mario. So those kills can come
As
on
if he
like
needs
even
it.
earlier.
Oh, no way.
Now look at the up airs. They try to go for the forward air. Decent mix-up, trying to catch Rare Luke being maybe a little lackadaisical on that recovery, but they're able to sneak out of that combo. Dash attack to knock them away. Up to 99.3 here, so this is where Rare Luke has got to come up with something.
Ooh.
Good fade away that time. A little bit too much rage means that that spike option off the throw is not really available. Rapid jab will knock Steven off stage. Do they threaten it? Oh, I love the mix up there. Great tech from Rare Luke as well. They roll back, they get the back air, and that's a lead for Rare Luke.
Okay, that was the best, that's peak Rare Luke right there. That is the best Rare Luke we have seen so far. Went for the mix-up, hit the tech, got the back air, found the stock. Steven got a little bit overconfident, and Luke took that and just didn't even run with it, sprinted away with it, making it so difficult for Steven to adapt. Now Luke's at 108, and unfortunately, that's a difficult spot to be in at a moment like this. You're not able to find that early state advantage. You're not able to get that lineup like you want, and you're only one hit from death at any given moment. So we are tied up, but Rare Luke really feeling good right now, really feeling confident with their performance, and I can't say I blame them. A really beautiful open up.
Rare Luke got those early advantages because of their spacing. They were just so good at getting these forward airs and back airs and connecting where Steven least expected it, being able to weave around some of these hitboxes. But
Yeah.
Steven's defense is just so strong, especially out of shield. They're getting up smashes, down smashes. I mean, it looks like Game & Watch gameplay in theory, but I mean, it's just so difficult for Kirby to be able to weave around. But another spike, Steven getting greedy off stage, and he's punished for it yet again.
No, I mean, Steven is really getting greedy, so you're saying it best. Steven hit a couple of cheeky forward airs, thought, oh, that's going in the highlight reel, and then kind of just slowed down a lot. Has really made it difficult to get played like this. Luke almost hits the spike beneath the stage, but Steven will hit the stage. A huge advantage right now for Rare Luke. It's their job to not squander this.
92%, so they do have to be careful here. Any of those smash attacks could potentially lead to a kill here, but they can afford a little bit of chip damage, and right now, building up this extra credit is massive. Those lingering hitboxes like the dash attack helping build up that percent, but Steven able to find a forward smash here, and just like that, last stock apiece.
Last stock apiece, and it looks like it's going to be close, but unfortunately, possibly no cigar for Steven here to find that 3-0. There's the grab into the spin cycle, puts him up, not able to find the secondary up air. 32% onto Rare Luke, which unfortunately, I hate to say it, close to the kill percent. So you've really got to be careful. 43% on the board, and pressure continuing to stack. But no pressure yet on either side. 80 to 43. Rare Luke could hit a dash attack into an aerial off stage, maybe a down air to find that spike, but instead it's a grab into a down throw. Goes for the recovery, allows Steven the space to get back on a ledge. Center stage control. This was my prediction of where the fight would end up. Grab again. Rare Luke really getting up close and personal. Rapid jab finds some more, but Steven begins the combo, drops it, grab into probably back throw, but no, instead it's a down throw. Off to the left side, a bit of a wonky SD, or DI, excuse me, 145 to 71. Luke's desperate for an elim here, wants to take us to a game 4.
You might find it here too. The trade's gonna work! Neutral air finally comes through in the clutch, and he gets spiked off the stage because of it, and we're going to game 4.
Unbelievably beautiful, beautiful performance from Rare Luke there, able to clean things up, make the appearance happen, and really, I mean, you gotta wonder what happens in games 1 and 2, because game 3 was a brand new player.
I mean, Rare Luke turned on the jets, and that's what I was talking about with those off-stage interactions. When you get the timing right, all of a sudden Mario's off-stage, drops his stock because of it. And while, yes, there were moments where Steven got a little greedy, the up B spike, coming back to haunt them there in that game, it goes to show that there are opportunities for Rare Luke to be able to pull off this comeback, pull off these wins. They just have to execute upon them. And all of a sudden, stocks can drop very quickly the other way. This is 2 brawlers at the end of the day. You land one good punch, and that's likely the stock because of it.
Yeah, we are going to be going back to Pokemon Stadium 2 here. So, oh no, sorry, this is the first time in this series. We only saw PS2 in the last series. So, Smashville, Small Battlefield, now into PS2. So, this is a bit of a new opening, but we know those platforms can be really beneficial for Mario if he plays his cards right. And I'll be keeping a close eye to see if we get that extended performance from Steven once more, or if Rare Luke is really just starting to learn the matchup. That's the beautiful thing about Smash. People play the same characters, they follow the same flowcharts, and people become predictable. That's exactly what Rare Luke has been able to take advantage of, is Steven's overconfidence and overzealousness. You've done it once, Can you do it 2 more times to get a full reverse sweep here on Esports U?
Rare Luke has also been doing very good at these low percents. The start of the game, right? Think of the past 2 games. They've gotten up to 60, 70% leads. That's massive for a character like Kirby, especially since they're getting damaged. You're seeing a lot of this down throw here, and that's because I believe it's one of the more damaging throws in Kirby's kit. They're not trying to get just, you know, a combo game. They're just saying, all right, I don't know which way Steven's going to DI out of this. I'm not going to even try and read it. I'll just take the damage and see if I can follow up late.
67 to 63, only 4% apart, and now only 8% apart for the time being. Double shield goes out, Kirby goes in, and Rare Luke finds Steven out of center stage once again. I like what we're seeing because Rare Luke really starting to take that center stage dominance, going for that stage control and looking for any and all opportunities to start dealing damage, to get that movement, and to get that opportunity. But when you're found off stage, Flood locked and loaded, the short hop forward air just 2 inputs away. Rare Luke, wow, a very bold roll up onto stage, will be punished.
Yeah, a tough spot there. Steven is just barely spaced away from that portion of the stage where he's got all the options to cover roll and jump away. And in that situation, Rare Luke able to, you know, get to the corner, get back on the stage, but there's nowhere for him to go when Mario's swinging wildly, and that forward smash, that step back, pushes him just forward enough, though, to be able to catch. Here again, covering that spot, but won't be able to find it. Rare Luke able to jump around it here. And Rare Luke needs to find this stock relatively quickly here. He cannot afford to take too much more percent.
Oh, and as you say it, so almost as if you jinx him in that moment. The caster curse comes through. Rare Luke takes an additional 44% damage, 34, excuse me, percent damage. And Steven's low. You got the grab. Don't go for the down throw. Please forward throw. Please forward throw. Get him off stage. Go for that damage. Look for a down air. Can't find it through stage. The iframes keep Steven up and running. And Rare Luke may lose their second stock before Steven even loses their first.
That one's rough. I don't mind the down throw there. Forward throw doesn't actually send as far. It's more of the combo throw, so they don't typically go all that far. I'm honestly shocked we didn't see up throw, though. At 155?
That's also true.
With that little bit of rage, maybe test him on the DI. I'm a little shocked that he hasn't really gone for that throw yet. That forward smash does 20, which is a decent chunk of damage dealt. Forward tilt will knock Steven away, but here at 170, you got to think up throw with a platform there. That's got to be the stock, and it is.
Stock finally offline, but now we're seeing Rare Luke at a full 1 stock deficit. They're going to have to find this second stock pretty much flawlessly. The grab is going to be missed by Steven. Luke gets a little bit of chip damage, 4% up to 8, so the numbers continue to grow. 44% onto Luke, till the combo begins. It will be dropped out by that Kirby jump. Back air found 61 to 8, and Luke on just the absolute prowl right now, trying to run away and not able to do so.
Rare Luke is trying to find some combos here with these multi-hits. He's trying to throw out the forward airs and neutral airs, but right now Steven is falling out more often than not, and he'll catch the landing with a forward smash too. And Steven will take this series 3-1.
You know what, Soy? I'm glad we made it at least to a Game 4. Luke played a much stronger Kirby than I ever would have anticipated seeing today, and I've got to say the performance was strong, but unfortunately, it just was not strong enough. And not to kick us into turbo mode, but there's another Esports U broadcast that's supposed to start in literally 5 minutes. So we're going to wrap things up pretty darn quick here. Thank you to all 4 players and schools for coming out today. Thank all of you for watching. A big shout out to our production team in the back line for making everything possible. And Soy, thank you for joining. Thank you again, everybody. I hope you had a great Halloween. Check your posture, drink some water, don't forget to love each other, and we'll ECC you next week.
Welcome right back, everybody. We're running the gauntlet of esports here on Esports U, from Smash over to Rocket League for ECAC. You got myself, Pirate J. You got clearly Captain Atsoka, who's ready for the event. He's waving his hands around. He's giving you the smug look. Cap, I know you're feeling good, but tell me more about how good it feels to be casting some Rocket League.
Well, it feels really, really good because so far this collegiate season, I have not been able to cast a lot of Rocket League. And you know what? It feels really good to being able to be back on the desk again, casting some of the best that we have here in Esports U. So yes, I'm very excited. I've been looking forward to it all week long, and I can't wait to get into our first matchup.
Let's go. All right, well, our first matchup, everybody, is Farmingdale State Rams versus Tiffin University. Two squads that are really at the middle of the pack right now, Cap. You got Farmingdale 2-3, Tiffin at 2-2. So both teams trying to break through, trying to get that winning record under their belt. And guess what, folks? We're already prepped and ready for the best of 7. These players have been in the lobby ready to go. So why don't we take it to them? 6 players out on the field. You can see it. Tiffin in green, Farmingdale in blue. Let's get game 1 going.
Well, here we are. Game 1 now officially underway. And so far, so good for Tiffin as they're making their way with the possession here. Again, you know, they're being able to really control the pace of the ball, at least so far. You know, whenever I see the kickoff, it's normally just hectic back and forth boomer ball. But you know, so far, it does look like, you are just trying to a little bit here and connect on this long pass, but it does get broken up by Zip.
Already great vision out of Zip from Farmingdale to be able to get to that aerial, intercept the shot play that was hoping to be happening on that side for Hungry Hippo. Okay, Hungry Hippo close on that call. But Tiffin University, as they try to sort of set up shop in this first minute on Farmingdale's side, they're not quite getting that shot to go until now. Hungry Hippo feasting.
Yeah, and you know, this has been like the real difference maker so far, is that, you know, we're seeing a lot of that give and go, a lot of those pass plays being made, and they're really controlling the ball, where unfortunately for the other side, for FSC, you know, they're just kind of playing that boomer ball that we mentioned earlier. You know, they're just kind of giving possession away at times, and so far every time we've seen TU take possession, it's been a lot of control, and it's been a lot of slow-paced, methodical play.
That's right, you gotta stay behind the ball, especially at points in this time of the game. Dirty Boy taking special advantage of this play that I think just got away from the defense.
Yeah, I mean, they were able to go with the up and over angle. You always want to try and go for that waterfall. The waterfall, again, has led to so many goals in the world of Rocket League. So, again, that was a fantastic play, and a lot more control being taken back by FSC. They kind of let the first goal go, and now they're starting to rein things back in and taking more control for themselves.
All right, well, Tiffin there, hungry for the response here. Got that lead early and said, hey, can we get it back? It sure felt nice. Demolition opens up the avenue. It's Broadway Street to the net, but still can't score. Adapt, the first shot was just off the mark, and it left enough time for the defense to get back situated, and form a counter-attack already on that first shot. Almost had a goal go.
Almost close, but no cigars. Now we're back at the midfield again, and now we're starting to see a scramble here. I mean, now both teams have scored. They're both kind of warmed up. I mean, we'll have to wait until game 2 to see how warmed up they actually are, but at least now they're showing a little bit more respect for one another. Instead of just going for the ball again and again and again, now you see a little bit more method to the madness here as we are in the late game of game 1. Whew.
Okay, Tiffin University have to get out of this situation here where they're defending quite a bit. At Tiffin, especially this main team, I'm keeping a close eye on because they actually played their JV team earlier in the league and won that series 4-2. So not really the most dominating win over your JV team. I think every match really, whether it's against their JV team or not, is a chance for them to be exemplary, to show that they can dominate the field no matter who they play, including players like Hungry Hippo. Aerial across the midway of the field was almost enough to take it to the net. Started off the possession strong as they take another 50 at the midcourt.
Yeah, now we're officially past halftime here, so we're moving further and further along into this game. Number one, we're still tied at 1. It was so interesting just because we scored those first 2 goals rather quickly, and then it's just been a stalemate ever since. And now you can see Otter Space making their way down the pitch, gets the 50-50 to fall in their favor, but Zip just as quickly able to take possession back, goes off the backboard, gets the bump, and Otto able to put that one on and in, giving FSC a 1-goal lead.
I'd be farming those goals if I had a clear angle like this as well. Zip, the bully in the net, clearing out any defense you could possibly think that could put a hand up. I love the wrestling tactics there to give Farmingdale their first lead.
And now look at this. I mean, TU, they're not wasting any time here. They're going right back to the attack, but just as quickly they lose possession, and now they're really trying to vie for the ball here at the midfield line. And once again, FSC just encroaching further and further. A double commit there. One on the ball and one on the demo leaves an open opportunity, but Otter Space able to come in clutch to get the save.
Oh, this is dangerous here. Otto, great work cleaning up that counter attack. There were, it was like a 2-pronged attack that was trying to take it down the field. Hungry Hippo denying one shot there. Otter Space has to get out in front of this shot as well. And Dirty Boy, oh no, double commit and they both miss. Otter Space, clean goal, open wide for the taking.
Yeah, good pass plays here. Again, that touch there from Hungry Hippo, just leaving it for Otter Space all the way downfield, and it looked as though there might have been just a little bit of an overcommit or a whiff. Again, just a mishap on the side of FSC that just gave a wide open net opportunity to TU, and they're going to take those 10 times out of 10.
Exactly. I mean, we got to keep an eye on any mistakes that come through here today, because it's clear that either team is going to take advantage of those situations. It's a very guarded play style since we saw those first couple goals. Like we said earlier, it was a stalemate, as you said, at Soka. And since then, it's just been either team keeping their eye out for little mistakes like that so that they can punish.
Oh, absolutely. You know what's my favorite thing about esports, you getting to watch these players and, you know, seeing the amount of talent that they have and how they progress every single week, and it just truly makes me just realize how washed up I really am. I love it.
Nothing like some good Rocket League to remind you of that. I'm right there next to you with that one. It's so good. 30 seconds left, and every player on the field right now wants to show that they are far from washed, that they can make the clutch play. Maybe it's Zip off the backboard, so close to the read on the double. Dirty Boy, not quite able to shoot it through either, but maybe able to recover this ball. It's a minor backflip that almost pinches its way into their net. 7 seconds until we get to that potential overtime. It's passed out to Hungry Hippo. Touch up the corner. Double tap there. Pass in front. Oh, it was right there for Hungry Hippo, but they lunge just a little late.
Yeah, just a little late, and honestly, the position was a little bit too narrow, too, but I understand it. You do want to set up perfectly in the mid, and there was just a lot of sauce on that pass. Speaking of, how about some sauce coming off the backboard? Still the angle, not quite there, but TU already starting off OT so aggressively.
I like this. Take advantage. They've still got possession here. They aren't really able to steal that boost. Dirty Boy's certainly going to be able to use that 100 in the tank to make this defensive play as they look to clear out as well. Otto assists in that endeavor. Hungry Hippo, lone defender, can't quite get there. Off the corner, they just get out of there alive though. The stop, enough to break it loose. But surely Farmingdale want to bite at it again. Here it is, Otto now off the backboard, leaves it up for Dirty Boy. Slaps it back off the ceiling, 50 there, but Adapt looks to control.
Yeah, this can really go either way. Both teams have already been so close to finding the back of the net. The sidebars, the crossbars, everything is dented now. They just got to find a way to get the goal to go for either side, attempt after attempt being made, and somehow the defense just manages to hold on from both sides. As Zip now, once again, tries to make it happen, but the defense comes through with the clear.
It does, and it was very proactive defense. Zip trying to get each fake past every defender. It worked the first time, but played it too slow the second time. Kind of tried to bait another attack, but it didn't work. Hungry Hippo, another flip off the ceiling. That could be enough with the dunk play, and it's not in somehow. Otto saves vertically, unallowing the follow-up dunk to happen. That was a perfect defensive play there from Otto, but is it enough to translate this into an attack? Still Hungry Hippo searching for a play off the ceiling. It's cleared by Dirty Boy, and Farmingdale able to survive another few seconds.
Oh, look at this pass. The cross was there. I guarantee, had they got the touch on that, it was going in. That was a pitch perfect pass. It doesn't get any better than that. Maybe the speed was just a little bit too hot on the ball, but my goodness, it looked so good. They're going to want that one back for sure.
They are. Keep an eye out for those midfield passes, especially as Dirty Boy has found the demolition. Hungry Hippo in search for just that onto Otto, but Otto able to evade it. Double save from Zip. Otto clears straight through into the ball. Outer space sends to the ceiling, and Dirty Boy right on this takes to the net. Hungry Hippo clears out the safer territory from the corner. Such a difficult position for the opposition to score off of. Zip a hard touch there, and Otto could be next, but Outer space actually with no boost to their name, just well positioned. Demolition there, adapt, the first touch goes loose. It was a 1v1 otherwise. And again, we're seeing these open looks from different players, whether it's passes or solo plays, just go amiss.
Yeah, again, I think when they get that open opportunity, when they see that they do have like scenarios like that 1v1 or even an open net, they're like, okay, this is my chance. And then for whatever reason, the nerves start to get into them, and then the shot, it just goes awry. So many times we've seen the angles just not quite on target.
Who's going to clutch up? Who's going to ice up? Clearly, that's what we're waiting for. Who's got that special sauce? Zip. Oh, dear. Careful on that play. Zero boost, but got the touch away. Dirty Boy certainly prepared for that attack from Hungry Hippo. Hungry Hippo always trying to play it higher, even taking passes that look high, passing it off the ceiling as well. The elevated playstyle may be enough here for TU, but still, it just isn't enough. Farmingdale able to kick it away, attack themselves. Outer space, clear from the wall, is going to be acted upon by Otto, and that's going to be a back pass back the other way.
Yeah, and you see me, I'm kind of like the villain of Rocket League, right? I'm more of a pessimist. So when you say who's going to ice up, who's going to clutch up, I'm looking to see who's going to make the first defensive mistake. That's what I'm looking for. Where's the defensive mistake going to be made? Because we've already seen some on the offense, but the defense has been pitch perfect. Again, every time we even mention it, it comes up like somehow they got that save. It's incredible. But now it's going to be who is going to make that first slip up.
And the exhaustion of playing this much Rocket League as well. I mean, we're coming up on 5 minutes of no break to watch the replay of the goal. So you know that the exhaustion's gonna pay, and you're gonna start seeing stars as you don't get even a second to blink here in the game of Rocket League. Dirty Boy, it's open season for Outer Space. Hungry Hippo looking the cherry pick there, can't get the redirect. Otto and Zip doubling up for the save, otherwise it could have been hairy. Adapt does see Hungry Hippo in shooting position again. Passes there, cut off well by Dirty Boy and Otto. Oh, cannot safe keep this ball. Dirty Boy again and again has to be that reliable third to see this ball out.
Yeah, and so far, honestly, they've been doing a pretty good job with the boost star, but now the demo on top, trying to follow it up off the backboard, but the third not there. Outer Space finally does find their way back, but it's too little too late. The opportunity is gone.
Gone by the wayside, and yet another attack here for Farmingdale. Incredible how it's this much work just to get that first win, but there it is. You can call it a defensive slip-up because it might have been slow. You can call it a good shot here from Zip to lay it right down in front of the net. Either way, it's Farmingdale with the Game 1 win.
Honestly, I don't even think that was a defensive slip-up. I think that was just an amazing pass by Otto on that last play. Like, that pass, you know, again, it was out into the corner. They were able to 50 it up and off the backboard and then really off the ceiling. And then it came straight down. And honestly, the defense, I don't care how good you are, the chances are that you're going to read something like that so quickly is slim to none. Again, that was a fantastic pass and a great shot to end things out. But, you know, what I'm looking right now, Otto, clearly MVP, 100% goal participation, and a savior medal on top, and 3 shots on the board. And then look how FSC spreads their shots around. There's 3 shots apiece from each of them. So they're really spreading the ball around, and you can also tell by their save count. You got 3, 3, and 2. 2 players with a savior medal. Clearly, they're rotating really well. You don't have one player that's just strictly playing one role or the other. Everybody is rotating perfectly, and you have everybody playing every position.
At the same time, like, we just had over 10 minutes of Rocket League, so to see no one even near 4 digits on the scoreline speaks to, I think, exactly what you're saying, Ahsoka, which is that these teams are very balanced, even on the shot taking, even on the points. Like, it's impressive how cohesively these teams play and rely on each other to make the plays work. It speaks to how well defensively they have played to allow for such a long overtime, even if there were some missed shots during that span of time. Nevertheless, we're right into game 2, and that's okay. Maybe it feels like we've completed a whole best of 3 at this point, but we've only just been done with game 1.
Yeah, and again, just to reiterate, that was literally just game 1, and it was a 3-2 OT that was the length of 2 regulation matches. And it was game 1, folks. This is a best of 7. Like, what? How long are we going to be here today? Only time will continue to tell, as we're about 40 seconds in and still scoreless here in game 2.
At the same time, these are the matches that we salivate over, the ones that are so even-handed. Oh no, Dirty Boy, he's got the upper hand on this play. Good shot under the bar.
Yeah, and you know what? I think it's just that momentum. They were able to take game 1, and you know, when you take game 1, and especially a double regulation time OT win, it's going to do wonders for your morale. So again, I think they're just feeling really, really good, and I think that momentum is just going to do them a lot of favors here, and especially now that they got the first goal to go here in game 2.
There's confidence that comes with that momentum, surely. So to dive into those plays like Dirty Boy did, there's no mistake on that whatsoever. Hungry Hippo, chance there to make a pass for their teammate, but Adapt passes to themselves off the ceiling and gets the perfect shot as well. How about this solo effort from Adapt?
I mean, we take those. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know, sometimes you just got to get it done yourself. And honestly, I really don't think Adapt was just honestly thinking that they were going to get that 50-50 read. And I don't think the goalie from FSC thought so either. That 50-50 played perfectly into their favor and just lined them up for a shot. So again, just a great read from Adapt, not only to get the 50-50, but to get the shot read off the ceiling afterward.
Very opportune here, our TU today. Or whatever comes
Not
before
again, though.
them, they'll take it. But that, yeah, now a double demolition. So it's just Adapt having to save, and they can't get back in time. I guess FSC are as opportune as ever as well to get those demos to clear the field.
And like I said, you know, I'm like the Rocket League villain, so I love the demo plays, I love the bumps, that's what I'm here to see. I love it. Give me the demolition derby, let's set off the fireworks, and you know what, that was a perfect display right there, because not only did they get the double demo, but then they bumped the third. They literally took everyone out of the defense coming from the side of TU. Sometimes that's how you got to get it done.
It is, especially after that long OT where you're not scoring any goals. It's like, you know what? We're just going to make the goal happen whatever way we desire and take out the entire other team. Yeah, well orchestrated with the physical game. There have been Farmingdale and certainly searching for more, but they actually have to find a clear. It's off of another demolition that they find some space, but it's to otter space instead. That pass goes across the width of the field. Dirty Boy with some time, having trouble landing on 4 wheels though. So it gives the shot taker a chance instead to corral this around the corner. Waterfall pass, but no shot taker present. Hungry Hippo. Always watching this player because in OT, that was the player always trying to cherry pick, always trying to lurk around their opponent's net to fire away a goal. That could be the player to put TU's equalizer on as he takes a shot here. Just saved, put out in the mid, but Zip clears away.
Yeah, speaking of zip, there was a little zip on that last shot. I mean, look, the offense from TU really looks suffocating right now. Like, for the last, 30 seconds or so, TU has just been perfectly aligning themselves on that midfield line and just running the shot count up and up and up. And, you know, FSC, they've just been holding strong on the defense, and now they have a big opportunity on offense. But the recovery from TU can't be denied as now they look to finish again. But the recovery from FSC managed to get back in time to get the save and clear it away.
Adapt has to be in pain there because the recovery was there, but the flick was not. It was another 1v1 position that Adapt was in and just couldn't really find the execution on defense. Having trouble getting behind the ball as well. Everything breaks loose on the turnaround for FSC.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's the first time in this series that we have seen a 2-goal cushion. You know, that insurance is now in FSC. That's a 2-goal lead. And again, you know, the last game went into OT with a difference of only 1 goal. So having that 2-goal insurance has got to feel pretty good right now if you're FSC.
Absolutely. And we've seen this team play so solid defensively too. I mean, if they can put up that foundation again, that iron curtain on the goal line, they've got a win in their hands. 90 seconds to see if they can do just that.
Very risky trying to go for that back pass up top, but I think it was a tactical whiff, possibly, as now the touch does go down. The shot is on, but Dirty Boy there to clean things up. Zip now going to take control. They have a little boost, get bumped out the way. Hungry Hippo now from the side, have boost, have an opportunity as Dirty Boy is there to deflect on the back wall. And now, as a friend of mine, Cairo Cass, would say, things are getting a wee bit scrappy.
Well, they might want to get scrappy in the favor of TU, because look at them still getting demoed on the field. Maybe that is what it takes to turn things into their favor. Monster clear for TU there. You don't see that every day. The picture-perfect pinch off their own backboard. Otto wants to find some power as well. Pass out the Zip, but no read. Otto, great shot though. That's the perfect read that they were looking for. Otto extends the cushion.
Oh yeah, this was dirty. I'll be honest. Like, if only you could have seen my expression when Otto put that one in, because the angle was nasty. Not only did they get it in between the sidebar, but they got it in between two defenders. You literally can't put that ball anyplace else, and it goes into the back of the net. So Otto, again, was able to just line that up, freestyling in the air, and just somehow find a goal. Now, with only less than 30 seconds to go, I think their victory is all but secure here in Game 2.
Yeah, it's amazing how this game score has been teased out so far in the favor of Farmingdale. You could just not even see the goals that happened in this game, and you'd expect this game to be so even-handed. You'd expect another long overtime. But instead, it's just been those breakdown moments on transition for TU, where Farmingdale take advantage and have the greatest reads on the backboard, have the great finishes, and instead for TU, they just couldn't get the flicks to go. They couldn't get the passes to connect. And Farmingdale, in this what could be a long best-of-7 series, instead is looking like it could end shortly as they get their second win.
You know, it very well could. You know, like I was saying in the beginning of the matchup, you know, the fact that they were able to come out on top in that long OT there in game number 1, I think just did wonders for them here in game 2. And again, you know, esports in general is a very momentum-based game, but I think none more than Rocket League is really affected by momentum. And FSC, they just took that morale boost that they got there from game number 1, and then they just rode it all the way into game number 2. I mean, when you look at the stat sheet, it's really not that big of a difference. I mean, you're looking at about 10 shots coming from the side of FSC. You got 6 shots coming from the side of TU. And honestly, the real big difference is just that one player that stepped up, Zip. Zip stepped up in such a major way. I mean, they're sitting with 1 goal, 2 assists on the board, and those assists really go a long way. And, you know, they had a good amount of goal participation as well. So again, FSC, they're firing on all cylinders. Like much in game number 1, their rotation was pretty good, and everybody is getting touches on the ball. That is what's really making the difference. These 3-way pass plays and just the positioning that's coming from FSC. They have such good coverage on the field. TU, they're going to have to try and change some things up if they want to try and replicate that success that FSC has had.
I want to leverage that point that you're making at Soka. It's very level from the players of Farmingdale right now, and it is the opposite right now from Tiffin University. They had Adapt with over 400 points, but they had another player around 180, and then another under 100 points. That speaks to an absolute absence on the field, and things are going from bad to worse. Zip, the player you called out at Soka, still fired away.
Absolutely. And then once again, it comes off of another pass play. Who's going to be on the pass? Otto. Otto, again, has high goal participation. In game number 1, they had 100%. So it doesn't even matter who's scoring and who's shooting. All of these players are working as unison. You're not seeing Otto, Dirty Boy, and Zip. You're seeing FSC. This is a well-orchestrated unit. They are playing as one mind right now.
Well, let's see if that mind can construct more and better ideas on the field. Farmingdale, they are in a position to run away with this series, drive away, whatever you want to call it. Another goal would certainly extend their confidence. Zip somehow firing another shot, just ripping it to the net, making sure TU are sweating on the back line. Dirty Boy, can they locate Zip across the field? Certainly. Zip, corner read, not quite. Dirty Boy shot off the ceiling, water falling down, shot there. Zip can't beat the defender though. And TU, they need more stops like that to build the confidence of their team. However, those stops not turning into the most accurate of shots. That one ringing right off the post. Hungry Hippo, surfacing right around the net here. Adapt has to take to the side.
Yeah, that they do. And you know what? Again, we're just seeing a lot of scrappy play coming from the side of FSC. And, you know, I just love my friend KairoCast so much. I love the way that they commentate. And, you know, I just can't help but give them a call out every now and again. But, yeah, you know, we're definitely seeing FSC really get into the face of the opposition. Whether they're on offense or on defense, you see little to no hesitation coming from them.
I need no hesitation right now from TU. I need them to be fired away. I need them to want it. And that is the best exemplification of it that I could ask for. Hungry Hippo, perfect off the ceiling, dipping it down for outer space.
Oh yeah, TU was stepping up big on that play. They kept pushing inside the opponent's territory over and over and over again until finally it was just suffocating. And then unfortunately for FSC, they couldn't break out of their own half, but finally TU able to take some momentum away from FSC and bring it to their side of the pitch.
And I still really think as Hungry Hippo is backflipping, bicycling that ball back up, that player is the difference maker, right? Under 200 points the last game, but every time I see a play really being created, something creative as well from TU, it's Hungry Hippo. He's landing perfectly off the ceiling. He's always adding another flip, another step, another 50-50 to the play that makes it very confusing to defend for FSC. So every time Hungry Hippo has the ball on attack, and I think he needs to be fed more, you gotta keep an eye out for what he's producing.
Well, here we are, just about halftime, and it's crazy because this match has actually gone a lot faster than the others. I mean, we're already at 2 minutes and 30, it's halfway done, and we're tied at 1-1. You know, we've had a couple of high-scoring games, you know, in games number 1 and 2, but this one, a little bit more of a stalemate so far, but now we're in the later half of this game 3, and now things are going to start to get a little bit more interesting as now the clock is going to be a big factor from here on out.
Yeah, it makes you not want to save as much boost as you keep going. It makes you want to lunge for that attack because it could be the one goal that is the difference maker on the series score. As we come down, stretching past that 2-minute mark, Hungry Hippo can't read the ball off the side. Otto ends up 50ing it across the field again. Outer space there, but so are 3 other cars. Everybody bunching up on this play. Scary one here for FSC. The Dirty Boy finds a clear. There's a demo on the goal line. Zip has to clear this away. Just gets it over to Dirty Boy. And a dangerous play for FSC is going to turn into attack instead. Pass out to Otto. Will go to the corner.
And right now, TU still trying to hold on to their possession, but it gets taken away by Dirty Boy off the backboard. Not going to be much good there. And right now, you know, TU, they're starting to feel a taste of their own medicine as they get suffocated in their net. And Otto is there to put the ball to bed in the back of the net off of the pass from Zip. What a play coming from FSC.
It's picturesque to see 3 defenders right around where the shot was taken. But how do you save that from Otto? A bullet perfectly placed. We've mentioned the precision of the shot taking already from Farmingdale, but still it surprises me when I see it.
Oh my, I'm thinking this one was going to be a pass. Absolutely not. Hungry Hippo able to take it themselves. Nice little doomsday dish served up nice and cold for the side of FSC. That is going to be an equalizer. We're back to a tie ball game, Pyro.
Telling you, keep your eye on Hungry Hippo for the creative plays. The doomsday dish, it's been around almost since the inception of the game, right? But at the same time, you don't expect that in a 3v3 scenario when you need a goal the most. You're looking for the passes like you said it, Soko, but sometimes a player like Hungry Hippo can just dish it out like that. Under a minute to go to see who might just take this game in regulation.
45 seconds to go. We could have another overtime on our hands here, but you can already see Zip looking for the pass. They want to end it here and now. They don't want to go into OT as Adapt now has a little boost to work with. They have a player in the mid. A nice toss up there, but 2 players there in the net for FSC. Able to clear that one out, and now we only have less than 30 to go.
Outer space, no boost to really follow this up, so it's up to Otto instead. Captain v Captain here across the side. Hungry Hippo can't get the right 50-50 on the backboard that he's been dominating all game long, but a pass out to Adapt, kicks off the backboard. Hungry Hippo to strike, 2 defenders there, but both beaten. Hungry Hippo steps up yet again.
Yeah, Hungry Hippo really coming alive this game here. And again, the pass off of Adapt was beautiful, but it was the dunk, the bully ball that forced that one into the back of the net. And just like that, TU might have their first round win on the board, and 9 seconds left for FSC to equalize.
Got to keep an eye out on this kickoff scenario and what Farmingdale are able to produce. It's a backboard pass. Shot taker there. Ball's going to stay alive as it bounces up the wall. Hungry Hippo needs to pass this out. Maybe needs to find a lane to the ground, as when this ball does rest, it will be over. TU, first game win in this series, and it's off of some clutch maneuvers.
Well, there we go. Not only that, but it was off of Hungry Hippo. I mean, we were literally talking about Hungry Hippo before this one started. And, you know, it seemed like they weren't really getting involved. And now this time they were involved in every play. 100% goal participation. And they shot at 100%. They took 2 shots. They made 2 goals. We take those all day, every day. And that's what we need to see. We need to see all 3 players really getting involved instead of just having maybe 1 or 2 players go with those kind of like isolated give and go plays. You have to start formulating and using your advantages as a unit instead of just playing individually. So hopefully we see some more team orchestrated plays as we get ready down to head into our next match.
To me, this is really team orchestration from Farmingdale, but individual play stepping up from TU. I mean, they tried team orchestration. It just didn't work. But we have kept our eye on Hungry Hippo. And I think really the difference maker is all 6 of these players can sport mechanics, can play the ball well, can take great shots. But the way that Hungry Hippo maneuvers their card, they effortlessly land all 4 wheels on the ceiling to gain another flip. They're able to read these crazy 50-50s on that bully ball for the final goal. It's different. And sometimes you've got to feed the beast if you're TU and you can't get past this synergized Farmingdale team. So I want to see more solo plays. I want to see more feeding of the ball to Hungry Hippo to put TU up ahead.
Here we are into game 4 now, and it's going to be Otto to find the back of the net first for FSC off of what I would consider a 3-way pass play. You had the 50-50, and then you had Otto cleaning it up off the pass from Journey Boy, and just within 5 seconds, already FSC take the lead.
Funny enough, that's the kickoff goal that I think Farmingdale wanted with 9 seconds left in game number 2, but they were able to construct it instead here. Or game number 3, excuse me. So they're able to start it off here in game number 4 the right way, get that lead back. Farmingdale spending more of this series often with the lead, but as of late, TU, they've been biting back.
That they have, and it looks like they're going to continue to do so. FSC now playing with a little bit more pep in their step here. I mean, they went down in that previous game. They didn't even get the OT, and I think they want that game back. They feel like they definitely should have won that one, because you can see the amount of aggression that they're coming with here in game 4, and they're leaving no prisoners. They're not pulling their punches this time around.
Good, that's how it should be. I mean, these teams, they've had more than enough time to understand each other and how they operate on the field. Now it's time to show off that confidence with how, you know, reliant you are on your teammates and their plays. Hold on, Hungry Hippo, so the play off the crossbar. That is not the type of shot taking we expected here. An opening goes by the wayside for TU.
That it does, and I don't even know how to chalk that one up, because yes, there was a whiff on the defense, and you have to ask yourself, you know, are they going to get the touch, are they not? But at the end of the day, you're going for the shot no matter what. So I guess it was a difficult read, but regardless, no matter which way you look at it, no matter what excuse you make, it's still a missed open net opportunity.
Those ones sting the most, surely, but every Rocket League player knows how it feels. We've all been there, whether it's me or you at Soka playing the game, or these guys that actually know how to do it. It feels bad, but still in search of an equalizer. TU, and boy, does it look like a good opportunity. Shot taken by Hungry Hippo off the pass from the side wall. Does go a little bit light, so it does allow FSC to regain, recoup, and fire away on the other side.
Yeah, that they are, but the follow-up shot was just not there in time. Again, the backboard play was good, but look at Zip going for the cherry pick, looks for the pass back down, but Hungry Hippo able to come in clutch there on the defense. And you know what, I gotta say, I feel like I've been seeing a lot of TU spending time in their own half. They have got to break out soon.
That might be all required here. Look at this adapt if he's able to take this shot at Hungry Hippo, demoing the other defender. But look at the reaction from Hungry Hippo. The shot taker taken away, so it goes from blocker to shot taker. Hungry Hippo stepping up.
Yeah, that they are. And that was a little bit of finesse, too. Wasn't nothing spectacular, just a nice little chip shot. They barely had to move to get that one in. And it just goes to show, sometimes you just got to have a little finesse to get a goal to go. And now, just like that, off of Hungry Hippo, we have ourselves a tie ball game.
What's it going to take, though, to get this lead? Hippo off to Otter. It's a high touch pass 1, and Otter gets past 2. The third defender just getting there in time. Huge recovery play from Dirty Boy to not allow that extension or the lead as well from TU as they are battling back once again. Otter space, trying to fake out Otto. Otto just gets a touch on it, but Zip, perfect 50-50. Pass out to Dirty. Will it be on? Adapt, able to intercept just in time, and now they'll turn around on it. Adapt, high touch right above him. Otter space, shot there, right side. It's saved! Dirty Boy again big on the goal line.
Yeah, I don't know how they're making these saves, especially Dirty Boy. I mean, every single time they seem to be on the defense, we end up talking about Dirty Boy, as now Zip is able to get a save of their own. But now it kind of seems like the tables have turned, or the turns have tabled, and now it's just FSC playing a lot of defense. They're being confined into their own half, and it's TU that's really building up the shot count.
And they're making some cheeky plays as well. Often enough, they'll go for a light first touch to set up the second. And often it's a light first touch that gets away from a lunging defender of FSC. FSC defensively need to be able to react to these plays instead of just hard rushing on the challenges. Look at them able to turn this around though. Zip back pass to Otto. That's some creativity as well. But it just doesn't beat the fast defense of each team. We are still locked up at 1 apiece here as maybe another long overtime is looming.
It definitely is beginning to seem that way, but again, we finally get a demo out in the midfield, and I think that's what we're going to need. We're going to need more of that physical play because the recovery from the defense is just too good on both sides. No matter where they are on the field, they just manage to get back in time over and over and over again. So now you just got to take them out of the play entirely. Get the bumps, get the demos, force the opportunities, don't wait for them.
Oh, no hesitation here from Dirty Boy, already up in the middle of the field, off the ceiling. Able to corral to their corner. Hungry Hippo just lurking around the play. A little shadow defense, a little pop stop as they search for boost on the other end. Otter space. Long clear just to not allow really FSC to get that last shot in regulation. It's instead caught up again by Tiffin University. Hungry Hippo kick up the ceiling. Adapt picks this up. There's a high touch. He's past 2. Tries to get the pass out, but just under the ball. We'll take it to overtime.
And you know what? I love to see it too, because now we get to test what I like to call Captain Atsoka's overtime theory, or Captain Atsoka's OT theory. My theory is that within a series, if you manage to win the first overtime, it's likely that you'll win the second, but that theory has already been put to bed. You can see it will be TU to put this one to bed early, only 11 seconds in overtime, and we have ourselves a winner. TU now are able to tie the series back up 2-2.
And what a comeback performance from this team off of a dominating Game 2 victory off of Farmingdale. Once they win that 4-1 Game 2, it's like, ooh, wow, Tiffin University, it's going to take a lot to come back. And you know what? They did exactly that. Sometimes it was some solo plays off the back of Hungry Hippo. Again, MVP at least for their team. But that last OT play, it was a dime up between Otter Space and Adapt. They were just able to link together, get the passing at the right time, and score. So it's a combination of factors here for TU to tie up the series.
Oh, yeah. And you know what is going to be even further interesting still is that we remember what happened with FSC whenever they won their overtime game. They came back in the game following and just absolutely popped off. So now that TU has an OT win under their belt, I'm expecting for them to do the same thing. Like FSC, as soon as they got their win in that first OT, they came into game number 2 and then just flew off the handle. The momentum, the morale, everything was going their way. So now that TU not only was able to even up the series, but also even it up in an OT victory, I think they are going to be feeling really good about themselves, and it's going to reflect in their gameplay here in Game 5.
I'm ready to see it. I really am. This turnaround has shaped into something special from TU, and a goal out the gate would certainly showcase exactly what you're talking about that confidence being exuded on the field. They got to show up on defense, though. Hungry Hippo from the backboard. They're already in a dangerous position here. Dirty Boy puts it in a lucky spot for Otter Space as he carries it out and away. That may just diffuse the effort as Adapt pulls off the play for Hungry Hippo. Instead to work it off the corner. And no one breaking loose here in the first minute, at least yet here, as the series still tied. We're basically in a best of 3 to end this series.
Yeah, both teams just scrapping it out right now. You know, they're making attempts, yeah, sure, but it's really just a vie for possession at this point. You know, they're going for the steals, trying to break up these plays. No real big attempts being made yet. Every single shot has been kind of like a slow push, and it's been easily deflected. Right now, it's just a real vie for possession, and I think a vie for positioning. They're really fighting for that position at the midfield line before they start really taking any big chances.
Even with those big chances, I feel like, Cap, we're still going to see the defense come to form. Like, what have we been parading all series long is just the defense, whether it's Dirty Boy, who's made incredible goal line saves, or either team who's transitioned really well off of counterattacks and stopped some shots. That's been something that's been the most impressive. I mean, you have a team like Farmingdale, who have played Columbia College White during this ECAC league. And we all know Columbia College, if you know, Collegiate Rocket League. Like, these teams have had the experience under their belt. They know how to play quickly. It's just, are you going to break down under that quick pace, or are you going to show up?
Well, let's see who's going to show up here as we are 2 minutes in and we are still scoreless. I think this is the furthest or longest we have gone in a game without there being a goal on the board. I'm used to seeing some goals being made in gratuity at this point, and the fact that we're still scoreless here is a little bit uncharacteristic for these two teams, and it just goes to show how evenly matched I think they really are.
They certainly are. Look at this. Dirty Boy almost takes it off the roof of one of the cars there. I think it was Adapt, and puts it off the post. That's coming off of a demolition for Dirty Boy, but not the goal line pressure that they wanted to produce. Ball gets a weird bounce here off the ground, and it ends up being the perfect take for Outer Space.
Yeah, not having a goal on the board just felt weird. It did not feel right for these two teams. One had to go, and you know, it took an entire half of regulation to do it, but it does finally go, and it goes in the favor of TU. That's going to be a huge momentum boost this late in the game. I mean, a full half already gone, and they have the lead, and it was nearly gone, but Hungry Hippo comes in clutch with the save.
Certainly does, and look at the bump as well, the boost steal, everything coming to form here for TU. Oh dear, another miss. Dirty Boy, how much time can you give your team here? Not enough. Zip forced to make the extra save. The pressure, it looks like it's getting to Farmingdale just a bit here. Otto trying to keep this in the corner. Outer Space doesn't want to allow it. Adapt lurking behind the ball, but the communication not there. A second more given to Adapt, and it would have been a shot on target, but now the passing play out to Adapt. That's what they needed, but the shot doesn't go through. Outer Space, a 2v1. They're able to clean up on it after the shot didn't go. Can Dirty Boy put this away? Just enough to make sure Hungry Hippo doesn't have the shot.
I mean, don't get me wrong, those are one of the plays where you definitely should get them, but at the same time, the fact that they're still getting shots on target, they still have yet to give up on the offense, just shows that they are taking control of this game. You can get as many missed opportunities as you want, which is all fine and dandy. The name of the game is literally just lowering the amount of shot opportunities your opponents get. Now you can see their opponents, FSC, finally starting to take a little control until they're forced to back off.
Passes, they're so smart, but the defense even smarter, cutting off, intercepting these passes are Auto, but isn't enough to turn it around in their favor. Farmingdale again just playing a lot of defense here. The pressure, they're trying to not let it get to them, but this one might be what they need. Hungry Hippo out to Outer Space. That one's good. Hungry Hippo searching for a goalie bump here, doesn't get it, it doesn't need it, because look at the placement of this shot.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. And we have already seen sidebar, crossbar, everything being deflected and cleared away by the woodwork in the post of the goal. And this time, it is the crossbar that makes sure that goal goes in. And it just goes to show that sometimes the crossbar can either be your best friend or your worst enemy.
Oh, man, well, it's been a good friend here for Tiffin University, and they've certainly got the friendly role here. Moving in to what looks like an advantage into game number 6. This will be 3 wins in a row for this team. The momentum, it's serious, and you called it, Soki. You said after an overtime performance, teams just get that confidence and they pop off. 2-0, it's nothing special to look back on and tell your grandkids about, but it is a solid victory that puts TU on match point.
Absolutely. Again, it wasn't the most highlight reel worthy performance. You know, there's only 2 goals on the board, but you know what? A win is a win is a win, no matter which way you cut it. And that one was pretty cut and dry. You got 2 passes being made by Hungry Hippo, 2 goals being scored by Outer Space. And the only real big difference was the shot count. There's a difference of 3 goals here. But when you're looking at a 2-0 scoreline, those 3 shots make a huge difference. Again, TU, they managed to get those 3 extra shots on the board because they were keeping possession away from TU. Also, if you look at the save count, FSC were forced to recover 2 extra saves than TU. So they spent just a little bit more time than TU did inside of their own territory. So again, it's as I like to say, the devil is in the details. So when you look at those tiny differences, those are actually the big significant moments that could have changed the game for FSC.
I could not agree more, Atsoka. That is exactly what I pulled from this matchup as well, because even though those shot counts are only 8-5, that doesn't seem like a steep difference. It really was on the ball possession. Sometimes shot register don't really talk about how much time you spend in the other team's half, and I guarantee you, if Farmingdale had the possession that TU did, they would have come up in this game. They would have won just by getting that many chances, wearing down the defense. But instead, off of that overtime win, off of Tiffin's 2 wins in a row, they have the confidence to keep enacting that pressure on the Farmingdale. And now they only need 1 more game to win to get the victory in this best of 7. But oh dear, the kickoff almost goes Farmingdale's way, which wouldn't have been the first time that we would have bear witness to that.
Oh, absolutely not. Again, FSC, they love their kickoff goals for sure, but they're going to be denied here early into game 6, but Hungry Hippo will not. They will get the first goal to go here for TU.
All right, knock, knock, who's there? Not the defense. Hello, that would have been a goal for Farmingdale off the kickoff if they put it on target, and now this time it's too easy here for Tiffin University to bring that back and score as well. Teams, I mean, clearly want to come out the gate strong here, but maybe need to work back at those fundamentals and ensure that goal line is safeguarded.
And you do not want to give an early lead to TU. If we have learned anything, is that they're really good at managing the momentum. And if you give them that 1 goal early lead, then it's only going to just bode well for their morale even further. So you have got to get a goal on the board, and you've got to get it quick, because we've already seen how solid the defense from TU is. They can take this 1 goal lead and literally run the clock dry. So now you can see FSC starting to answer back and really be aggressive with the physical play. But again, TU will break out.
FSC were looking fantastic. They took a shot, bumped the goalie. They demoed another player. They stole the boost. Lots of disruption type plays from Farmingdale to work away and wither away TU. Were going in their favor, but all it took was a singular play from Adapt on the counterattack to put all that to bed. The issue here for TU is, although they can play the disruption game, or Farmingdale, they can play this disruption game, they've got to back it up with good rotations. And if they can't keep the possession alive for longer than 10 seconds, that disruption will mean nothing.
We're getting right back to it here, and TU again on the offensive side. On the attack, they do get 50'd out by Derny Boy, sends it up to Otter Space, who's able to take control a little, but now the control is going to go back the other way to Otto, who doesn't have a lot of boost to follow it up with. Unfortunately, the follow-up shot is on, but the demo just off the mark, and Otter is able to get the save and clear it away.
Otto now, looking for that read off the corner, does get it, kicks it out over to Zip, but that shot just wide. Can't steal the boost either, so has to backtrack pretty deep to regain it at the midfield. Outer Space, that means that time is given to work this ball all the way across their own net, and oh, this is not what you want to see. Hungry Hippo, so impactful for their team, but a little too much impact now for the other.
Yeah, there's really no pleasant way to say that other than we take those. That's about it. That's the only way you can kind of put a nice little flair on that. I mean, it's going to be now an even ball game, and I just don't think we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm ready to move right along. It looks like Farmingdale is as well. He'll work right off that momentum. And sometimes when you get a little dent in the armor, when you give a team an inch, boy, will they take a mile. FSC breaking loose.
Yeah, that they are, and we're right at the half too. 2 minutes and 35 still remaining, and still plenty of Rocket League to play. A whole half of regulation still to go, and now Outer Space is going to take this one off. The ceiling is met, and a big demo could open things up, and now the 50-50 does fall in the favor of Hungry Hippo. Zip, now Journey Boy, both in the net here as this one does go all the way up high, and I'm wondering, where's the cavalry from TU? The shot goes wide, it goes right back into the mid again. Outer Space is there to put it in, and just like that, we're back tied at 2-2.
Fight or flight here for Outer Space because there's zero boost in that tank, but still deciding to take up the cross and give themselves the best angle to score. That's boldness there for TU.
Yeah, they knew it was important to get back even as quickly as possible. They do not want to be on the latter half of that clock. They want to be on its good side as they were able to even up in mere seconds. And now, right at the 2 minute mark, they're going to be going back for the attack here as they managed to fake out Journey Boy, and I think they faked me out as well on that one.
It's tough to follow as these plays have gotten more creative as we go. And listen, sometimes if you don't know what you're doing yourself, you know, the other team can't either. So you got to just let loose sometimes and give it the extra touch, the extra little tap that gives yourself an advantage. Journey Boy lunging for this, for that, for just about everything, but not always getting the piece that they needed. Otto, a tall take here on the ball, and Hungry Hippo can't get the look they were searching for, so Zip right under this, and the ball is let loose. Can anybody take this? It's adapted Journey Boy at the same time. Otto's still able to maintain this possession, and this is what we've been discussing. All this possession can turn into a great look that Farmingdale might just get.
Yeah, they have not given up on the offense until finally a big breakout opportunity here does get deflected by Otto, and less than a minute to go, tied it 2. This can really go anybody's way. And again, this could be the makings of a third OT, but I know neither of these teams wants to go to extra minutes again. They want to try and end it in regulation. 40 seconds now, and it looks like possession will go the way of FSC here at the mid.
I do wonder if TU wants overtime because they've spent about a minute or so on defense. Even at the half-court line, when it looked like it was turning over, they get demoed. They're in more survive mode than thrive mode here as they're just trying to see their way to 3 zeros on the clock. However, a movement across the field, they finally get a break out of it. Outer Space, a good pinch up the corner. Otto's, the hand is forced to pull this ball away from the corner. It's another pinch across the way, so we might just be taking this one to OT after all. It's out in the midfield. Dirty Boy to adapt, just has to kill this ball. Zip skies up, gives their team one last look here, but off the demolition, they aren't going to get that opportunity. Overtime and potential win for TU.
And if not, it's going to be a game 7 for both of these teams here. And you have to keep in mind, both of these teams have had victory in overtime. So this is just as fair a game as any. But the question is it going to be a quick one like we seen earlier? Or is it going to go long? But now FFC are able to wrap it up in 15. And just like that, we got ourselves a game 7.
That's what I call putting fate in your own hands. That's as decisive as an overtime completion as I've ever seen. Zip. Double tap from the heavens. It doesn't get better than that.
Yeah, and there's really not much to say on that. I mean, it was an even game all the way there until the very end. And then honestly, we already know FFC, they love the kickoff goals. It wasn't necessarily a kickoff goal, but they were able to go off the kickoff and then formulate a play immediately afterwards. Again, it wasn't a kickoff goal, but it was definitely a kickoff play. I'm willing to call it that at least. And you know, again, before the OT, it was just about even all over the place, all over the board. But I will say from TU, is that they were playing a little bit kind of like solid defense. I mean, look at Outer Space. Them and them alone have 4 saves. You know, they really need to start rotating and, you know, getting more players involved and having everybody play every position. You know, again, the 1 becomes a 2, the 2 becomes a 3. They have got to start having a little bit more field coverage, or FFC could possibly steal this game away from them in game 7 as we get ready to finally put this series to bed. We will find a winner here and now. Game 7 getting ready to get underway.
I mean, when we had that 6-minute overtime in game 1, something had to tell us that we were taking it to Champions Field. to game number 7. Let's get it underway. As Farmingdale already almost had that kickoff goal that they love, but Hungry Hippo won a shot. Hey, the read off the post as well. You can't let this player break loose.
No, you really cannot. I mean, look at the placement again, the sidebar, and they get the dunk on top. Oh my goodness. Again, I just don't understand it. We've seen them hit sidebar and post all night long. And Hungry Hippo now turns that crucial enemy into their best friend and is able to get the first goal here for TU. And now a second possible will be denied by Durney Boy.
This is really a return to form of teams. Durney Boy making these big savior plays. Even Hungry Hippo, who's been lurking around the zone, has taken a lot of chip shots, even on low boost, but it's Otter Space this time, who was well positioned for that down pass from Adapt that I don't think ever came at Soka. That one just fell in his lap.
Oh, what? I mean, we're sitting here looking, and we're talking about Otter Space. Don't get me wrong, fantastic goal. But Adapt was faking, chat disabled for 3 seconds. What a mind game from Adapt to get that pass to go. That was a top-notch mind game play if I've ever seen one.
Fantastic. The mentality on these players. And yeah, for that fake to come out is incredible. They have the confidence, they kind of have the upper hand now mentally, but it can quickly wither away. Zip, that's that player that got the double tap OT win. You know they're not done.
Oh, absolutely not. And you know, this is what we're seeing from FSC. They slowly encroach further and further into the net, and then they just take shot after shot, and every single shot they take, they're forcing a defender to jump. So eventually they're going to jump out of position, and if you're consistently taking shots, eventually every single defender would have jumped out of position, leaving you with an open net. It's just a numbers game for FSC.
Well, the numbers are not in their favor. They need one more on the board to put it even. TU almost get that cushion back with a shot off the crossbar that rings right back onto the ground. But more chances to come as Adapt wins that 50-50. Durney Boy slow on the push here. So able to get at it, but with a miss there and an Otter Space demoed, it might be up to him to respawn and make the save just there. On the shot, Hungry Hippo now. Reese's touch off of Zip. Zip on the wrong side of the ball. Adapt beats him to it. Flick on the net, and it's going to be in. Another goal for TU.
Oh yeah, look at the flick of the wrist on this one. This is what I like to call the finesse here. Again, just getting under it and then just using the hood of your car to flick that one up. But it's not so much the flick as it is the speed. The speed of the flick, just too much for the defender to react in time. And honestly, the distance between the ball and the goal was not very far. So again, just perfect place, perfect shot, perfect opportunity to lead, now going the way of TU.
By the way, it's got to be mentioned, that's an upgrade for Adapt. We were talking about this player earlier. Had a couple solo plays early on in this series and tried for the flick and missed. Tried for the shot and missed the net. So for them to have that opportunity, especially a flick, and put it on target, huge confidence boost for the player and for a team that already has a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, but they don't want to get too comfortable on that 2-goal cushion here. We still have at least a half of regulation here, and an FSC team that is known to really get a lot of goals really quickly. They love operating fast. They do great on fast breaks. So now with 2 minutes and 30, half of regulation left to go, it is up to TU to put this team to bed and to confirm their win here in Game 7.
Feels like with all this possession still from TU, it's going to be up to players like Durney Boy to make those big saves that we've seen earlier. Otto has a lead blocker, and it's put the defender out of position. Easy layup for Otto.
I told you got to watch for those fast breaks. This is what they do. They are able to get goals on the board very quickly. They were not in the possession of the ball very long. They literally were on the defensive side in their own half the majority of that possession, and then they took possession away for 5 seconds, and they turned it into a goal.
You said Farmingdale liked to move swiftly, and certainly they did. Now they have a full 2 minutes to score a goal. I mean, they don't need to necessarily risk it on these counterattacks, put everyone ahead. At the same time, if the opportunity is there, you know they'll take it. Otto, great dunk on that play. Zips there. You know he puts these on target. Hungry Hippo save. Otter Space gets the block as well. And Adapt has to get up to clean up the play. Flip reset buys him a little time out to Hungry Hippo to Great movements from TU to extinguish that flame from Farmingdale.
And back into the corner we go, too. You can see TU, again, just trying to relieve a little bit of that pressure that FFC is bringing. But, you know, with a lot of these long clears, they just kind of give possession away. So now it's not so much about getting out of your own half. They've done that. Now they have to start controlling the pace of the game if they're going to try and hold on to this one-goal lead.
And of course, that control can come in the form of possession, something they might get out of a long clear like this. Dirty Boy, though, full boost and a great 50. That's going to land off the backboard if Hungry Hippo can't get there. But Hungry Hippo does. Incredible speed and a good read to get that ball away. Otto, a bullet to the net. That's blocked again. In front of the net again. Dirty Boy just lays this high for Otto. Otto, are they there in time? Not on target. That may have been the chance that they needed.
Oh, it definitely was, but that angle was a little tough. I mean, I'll be honest. I think maybe if they had stayed to the ground and turned in, you know, into the right angle instead of going for the aerial, it may have been a little bit better. But at the same time, it's really hard to read how that ball is going to bounce when it, you know, it hits that in between the wall and the ground. So again, not the easiest of reads, but definitely the opportunity that they needed. As now another one arises. Open net. Dirty Boy sends it in. And we have a tie game with only 17 seconds left on the clock.
I gotta say, I would have walked away in this game feeling so heartbroken if we ended the score and ended game 7 3-2, because Farmingdale had been working for this goal, came so close to a give and go. This time they just elevate their play style to beat two defenders, get the opening, but now they've got to clean it up. Game 7, 1 goal to go. Otto's behind the ball but cannot read the 50 from outer space. Dirty Boy with enough boost there to flick it high and bump out the defender as well. Shot there for Zip, double tap, no! Lands on the ground, and Zip, we're gonna need a different clutch performance for you if we want the Farmingdale win.
Well, this series began in an overtime, so it too must end as FSC try to go for the quick goal here in the beginning. The pass is there, but Hungry Hippo able to deflect somehow, some way. And now the hard part's over. You managed to play the defense on an FFC kickoff. Now you have to come through and confirm to finish. The shot is on. Hungry Hippo, the one to confirm. NOT TU come out on top in 7.
Oh my God, Hungry Hippo. We've seen a lot out of you. Effortlessly landing on the ceiling for extra flips. We've seen the double taps, the flip resets. We've seen it all from this player. And it was game 2 when TU were down 0-2 in the series. Going into game 3, I called out Hungry Hippo. I said, I've seen your creative play. I need you to ramp up. I need someone to feed you. You're the beast. And there it is, the final play. A highlight reel making one from Hungry Hippo to get the win for Tiffin University. Cap, can we ask for a better series?
You honestly can't. That's got to be, you know, just the game of the week. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. That was just, again, beyond my expectations at that point. It literally started out in an OT that went 10 minutes and then some, and then it ends in an OT in game 7. You literally cannot ask for a better series, and it can't be done. And honestly, I feel bad for every other, you know, production that we have going on tonight for every other esport, because this is going to be a tough act to follow.
Well, you know what, Cap? We do have more productions, and since we're over time, I'm just going to make our moves here. No interview for this one, folks, but more esports to be had. Hope you enjoyed hearing from myself, Pyro J, and Captain Atsoka to my side. That is Tiffin University with the win over Farmingdale State Rams in Game 7 overtime. Next up, we've got some ECAC Overwatch 2. It's going to be the Russell Sage College versus Sunny Canton. Clutch Key and Jag are going to take you through it. We'll see you after the break.
As we spring forward into a new month, the last full month of fall, we bring in some more Overwatch 2 action featuring the Russell Sage Gators as well as the SUNY Canton Kangaroos here in the next week of ECAC Overwatch action. We say aloha, friends, and welcome inside of the booth. Klutchkey alongside Jag with you here for this matchup between a 4-1 Russell Sage team right now and losing last week on October 25th against Tiffin, and they take on a SUNY Canton Kangaroos team that has won the first two but lost the last three, looking for some semblance to get a win here coming up in this next game. So, Jack, pretty interesting combination because when you look at the history between these two teams right now, for SUNY Canton at the very least, it seems like they have had a very good first 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden the next 2-3 weeks, they've just kind of gotten inconsistent, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really interesting, too, because when you look at those first 2 wins, they're over pretty quality teams, St. Francis and Ohio Northern, who I got to cast 2 weeks ago. And Ohio Northern, they were no slouches whatsoever. They were absolutely on top of their game in that series. So to see them have those big wins early on is great. It exudes confidence in this team. But like you said, inconsistent, dropping, especially against teams that aren't necessarily at the top of the standings. It's really unfortunate to see for them. On the other side, Russell Sage, 4-1. That's a really nice record, but they haven't necessarily had that same sort of test that they've had to deal with. They haven't had to deal with teams as good in that winning record that they've had. The good news for them is they've most likely already locked in playoffs, so wins from here on out are really just for seeding. I mean, there's still a chance they could fall out, but pretty unlikely. But the fact that they lost last week, they're also on a losing streak now. So both these teams are trying to get back to winning ways.
Yeah, so for those that are wondering what Jag is pointing out there, you get in the standings here out of 31 total teams playing in the ECAC. You get 2 points for a win, 1 point for the bye if you get one, and then 0 points obviously for a loss. Having 8 points minimum is the requirement to make it into the playoffs. However, they cap it at the top 16. So having 10 would be great, as a couple of teams already at 10. I believe 17 are already at those 10 points at a 5-0 record. We'll see which one of these teams get points. Russell State 10 points. We Canton looking for their points. We're right into Lijiang Tower, right into Night Market to start us off. As they use the Symmetra, Sides and Bolt will get things started right away. But Zed already on the Bastion comes out, or rather on the main, takes care of Promise on the Bastion. It's already a 5v3 situation where Russell Sage is just going to walk right in and take over the point to start us off.
I have not seen those dual Symmetra teleporters in forever, but you and I had talked about this before. We weren't really sure what we'd see today. The meta now a bit in flux, not going to be what we were expecting at the World Cup because of the patch notes that came out just recently. A lot of nerfs, especially to supports, but we're seeing mostly the same, I would say. I mean, Lucio Baptiste, even with those Baptiste nerfs, still seeing him come out to play. I was really surprised that SUNY Canton tried to run the Ramatra. That seemed a little irregular. Ramatra really hasn't been that strong in the last few patches. They're going to the Diva now, which I think makes a lot more sense. She is one of the tanks that just got buffed. A lot stronger than she was previously. Fusion cannon movement speed reduced. The projectile speed increased for the micro missiles. So now they have completely abandoned this role, and they're trying to go with these new updates and hope that they can do a little bit more damage here on fight number 2.
Yeah, especially Pharmacy Combo as well, kind of helping that out. But doesn't really matter. DJ Sode both getting their kills onto the Sojourn as well as the Baptiste. So pretty much no more Mortality Field, and this is going to have to be the Pharmacy combination making work. But no more Ghosty means no more chances. 50% enrolling for the Gators, and I really like this coming up, especially for someone of your name, Jag. Jag has a Earthshatter coming up here for Russell Sage.
I mean, they play this so smart. They realize that it's not a brawl anymore that they're playing into, so they just try to pick off the members that can't move that quickly, don't have those movement abilities. They teleport to them, they win the fight off the point, and they never even give up the objective. They never let it get captured. So Russell Sage now has 3 ultimates to work with, almost a sound barrier as well. SUNY Canton, they do build up the barrage, but beyond that, they don't have much else to work with.
Wonder where this Earth Shatter is going to happen from. There's the Rocket Barrage that comes out, gets rid of Soch, but that's deleted right away, so that's traded out for DJ. And now the Blizzard is going to come out. Kiriko, nowhere to go, no swift step, nothing doing whatsoever. Russell Sage have final fight territory coming up. 3 ultimates online, only needing to use the Blizzard to win that last one.
Yeah, so they still have almost everything to work with besides that Blizzard. The only thing that SUNY Canton had, that Barrage, it gets one, but that's it. There will be a self-destruct. There might be a Valkyrie in the nick of time for SUNY Canton, which could be huge if they need a resurrection, but they are going in to 4 ultimates. It's going to be very difficult for them to win this one out.
There's going to be the Photon Projector out, Photon Barriers up and about, so that protects them for just a little while. Far's in a lot of trouble, 25 health, got to get away, somehow does, and now it's going to be the kill on the Ghost. The Earth Shatter is out, Self-Destruct comes out at the same time, but good thing the Sound Barrier is there. Sound Barrier gets rid of every hope, or rather every worry that Russell Sage had in that fight. They use every ultimate, but in the end, it's going to result in a win for the Gators. 100-0, not a speck of dust, playing it clean here in the first map.
Yeah, SUNY Canton seemed to be a bit lost in that final fight. They weren't really sure how to initiate on the point, and I don't blame them. It's really difficult to break the sit-up that Russell Sage has. You do have the Diva and the Pharah that can fly up, but there's still the Symmetra turrets you have to worry about that can slow you, that will damage you. If you try to enter through the main gate, there's the Mei wall that you can cut you off, and then they slow you down with just the Mei primary fire. So overall, SUNY Canton, not a lot of possibilities, unfortunately, with that comp. Russell Sage played it to perfection. But now they're moving to Gardens. I think that SUNY Canton would have a much better time playing the Pharah. Seems like they're going to swap off of that for more of a dive comp, dive-ish with the Tracer, actually going to go to a Sombra. So they're not sure exactly what they're going to run, but now it looks like the Sombra for sure. I think this could work a bit better here, but this will still be a first teleport to the point from Russell Sage, really using the Symmetra well.
Look, all I'm saying, play the Lay Seraphim comp, right? That's what everybody wants.
Make
to
it happen.
Make it happen, guys. Make it happen. Somebody throw that idea out there right now in our first game. As soon as the entire pack comes out, go ahead and play it. But anyways, 5 seconds left to go to the point unlocked. You can clearly see SUNY Canton having a little bit of trouble entering in. It actually used the teleporter to get behind, and this is just the rush down of the rest of the team of SUNY Canton. Promise is able to get the kill onto DJ using the secondary fire from the railgun. That also takes care of the mech coming out, which means the mech coming out, no more Lucio as well. This should be advantage heading on over to Russell Sage, and this is going to be the point heading on over to the Gators of Russell Sage right now as they just get rid of the Moira and get rid of the rest of the team.
I love these Symmetra plays, and she was one of the characters that also got nerfed. A little bit less health now, only 100 total, or 100 health with the shield, so 200 health total. But despite that, they're still making it work. I mean, they're just constantly teleporting to the point behind the enemy backlane. You can see this Diva's also kind of caught out now. Like, they are playing so smart around this team comp and what it's supposed to do, which is get into positions that Orion usually shouldn't be able to. And because of that, they have had complete control of both objectives.
Matrix is out. That's just going to kite them away for a little while. Just staves off the rest of SUNY Canton for just a couple of moments. So now it's gone. So now it's just a matter of time and when they're going to come in. You can see over there Ghosties in the back line just trying to find one target pick before trying to throw that translocator away. Does so, gets the heck off, is going to be able to throw the translocator, gets back to the rest of the team, but dies when Zed throws the icicle right at your head. 44%, and this is going to look like a lot more. It's a backup situation. One Sombra gone, no more chances for SUNY Canton in this fight.
This is exactly why I wish they were still running the Pharah. The Pharah would make a lot of sense here. There's no real ceiling in this guy. We're going to see if this self-destruct gets much of anything, which it does get one, but I mean, actually, this could be a chance to re-engage. Forget everything I just said.
It could very well be, but the Blizzard's going to cancel them out for right now, gets them out of it. Everybody's outside, besides this Lucio, who's just hanging out inside of the Blizzard. Coalescence in your back line, though. It's going to be the pinch maneuver coming out from the rest of the team of SUNY Canton, and the Kangaroos will take a look at their first percentage points of the map.
I was going to say, this point is so hard to break once you set up on it, just like the last one. The Pharah could work really well because you're just shooting from above and there's a lot more room for you to do so. But there, they just throw in the self-destruct. You lose your Lucio, Mr. Hobo, who has your sound barrier, which was the main counter to what you used on the last round. And all of a sudden, you're able to flip the point. Bad news is, Russell Sage still has a lot to work with. Good news, you have your EMP locked and loaded, so if you're able to connect with that quickly, those ultimates might never get a chance to go off.
Well, some barriers out to start. EMP comes out. That hits 4. That hits almost the entire team. Mr. Hobo's able to get their Sound Mirror up in time. Earth Shatter is down, but Sound Mirror counters that out right away, so it's going to be up to the Overclock to help this one out for Promise right now if they decide to use that. However, Matrix is out for SUNY Canton, and Jag through the window. Russell Sage, Matrix is out, and that Fire Strike does wonders alongside the Fire Strike. It's back to the Gators.
To the window, to the wall, and to spawn they go. The Fire Strike serving basically the same amount of damage that you get usually from the Bastion grenade, which we've seen a lot of, but no Bastion online, so this time that Fire Strike, it has to connect. It does. And SUNY Canton, they do still have a self-destruct as well as an overclock to work with, but can they even touch the objective in time?
They can. They're going to get the contest, and as long as this holds on to 98%, which they do, then this should have the overtime clock. But Ghosty's already out of play, so this is going to have to be a hero play from Promise alongside of the self-destruct. From Zumi, it's not going to happen, but does find the dome onto Zed, and nobody else touches the point. They get off of it, so they get pushed up, and Russell Sage is going to win this map. Oh my goodness, I don't want to say the organization that Jag works for, but that may as well have been it, because SUNY Canton gets off, and Russell Sage is able to take Lijiang Tower. They're up 1-0 in the series.
Oh, that was going to be such a difficult fight to win regardless, and you had to feel it was going Russell Sage's favor slowly but surely, but still not giving it that full fight. having to unfortunately drop that last fight, the map, the round, because you just weren't on the objective, that hurts.
Yeah,
And
it hurts. I mean,
and
sorry,
that
go ahead.
overclock, I was gonna say that overclock could have paid dividends. We saw that one elimination come through, but they were playing on the outside. They were not on the objective, just a little bit too far off in that window. And because of that, we'll never know if they could have turned it around. You could see that they were starting to build up confidence. They had that amazing self-destruct engage. They had a really well-timed EMP that canceled the photon barrier. So it seems like little by little, we saw SUNY Cannon getting back into the swing of things, but you have to touch the objective. It's always going to be an objective-based game first, and unfortunately, you don't want one of these to be happening to you.
Yeah, it's been 0 days since that happened. It's been 0 days, folks. I don't think there can be a lot of argument on that. They had a chance at it, like you were saying, with the overclock, but nothing doing for SUNY Canton. So now 2-0 in favor of, or rather, I should say 1-0 in favor of Russell Sage as they win Lijiang Tower 2-0. So now we get to the next map pick here for SUNY Canton. So there is a set map pool, folks. Remember, there is a set way that they are going to pick. However, they can pick anything within the competitive mode as we go into it, as long as it's been more than 2 weeks. So obviously that means every single thing. Last map that has been released was Samoa. So this is going to be pretty interesting to see what they decide to pick. Now, if you're SUNY Canton for the Kangaroos, the way you've been playing this so far, it's kind of flexible in the way, but really no success on the flexibility, maybe besides one fight that we saw in Lijiang Tower. So, Jack, I mean, if you're SUNY Canton, what are you picking up coming up?
So I think you avoid any sort of Ryan map because clearly it seems like Russell Sage wants to run Ryan. They're running it really well. And immediately, like, don't do King's Row. I would stay away from some of the other hybrid maps, but also I think you want to look towards what might be more of your strength. And I think that would potentially be, Midtown. That's what I'm looking for. I think Midtown could work out really well. We've seen Brawl try to be run there by the London Spitfire, and it worked originally with those symmetric comps, and I feel like over time it became really difficult to deal with a bunch of the high ground that's available there. We saw more of a dive S composition from SUNY Can. They really like to play the Diva. We didn't really see any Winston, but I feel like Diva kind of fits that same role for the most part. So if you want to take control of the high ground or challenge it, I feel like Midtown could work out really well, or just hold on to it for the most part. Just whatever you can get away from Russell Sage, like get them away from that Ryan comp, or at least get away from a place that would be good for the Ryan comp. That's what they want to go for.
Yeah, the Ryan seems a little bit scary, especially when same person named Jag, not of the same player, obviously, since we have ours here and the other playing in game. But Jag right now, obviously looking very good on the Russell Sage side. Meanwhile, you got to give also credit to the big supports that were happening from Russell Sage as well. When you talk about big amp matrices, we saw that double fire strike window that was placed perfectly for them, and you also have to consider the sound barriers that came out as well. But the next map coming up, and you're talking about Reinhardt, maybe not Reinhardt maps, but we've been told that it is going to be Blizzard World coming up. So this is a pretty interesting pick here for SUNY Canton coming up.
I think it makes sense. There's a lot of long and sight lines as well as high ground, especially on those first 2 points. I think the third point is where it gets dangerous. I think if Russell Sage can survive those first 2 points and attack and get to that third point, that's where they could switch over to the Ryan, completely swap their comp up. But I would expect maybe a Sigma, maybe an Orisa. We've seen those two work pretty well on those first 2 points, because you don't necessarily have to play the high ground, honestly. If you're able to force the defenders from the high ground, if you can get SUNY Canton off that high ground, then they can't really do much. Like, you want them, especially that first point, you've got to capture the objective. So eventually they have to come down from that high ground to contest it. You could, I guess the second point, play high ground a bit more because there's certain points where the cart is where you can actually contest it from the high ground. But overall, like, you're not probably feeling too bad if you're Russell Sage, because I feel like there's still ways you can play this out that could work. But it's really on SUNY Cannon's shoulders. This is their map pick. This is something that they're playing in the hopes that they'll get an advantage here. I'd like to see actually not the Diva. I'd like to see the Sigma overall from them. I feel like that would be the best play. And they've got to start, they've got to get something going here. Because again, this is a 3-game loss streak that they are on right now. They do not want to make it 4. And if they fall into an O2 hole, it's going to be really difficult to get out of.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult, especially when your record is 2-4. There's only a couple of weeks in the ECAC, so really want to avoid having to play from what you would call behind, especially in all case scenarios here. When you're looking at how many rounds there are 8 rounds. Meaning, if you were to drop this and move to a 2-4 record, you've only got 2 more chances. You got to win out both. So for SUNY Canton, this game pretty huge for them, especially to get back onto the right foot here, to get back to that 500 record and essentially be 1 game away from that minimum 8 points that you need. Meanwhile, we go right ahead into Blizzard World, and you can take a look at the defensive side right now as Russell Sage will be on the defensive side. So no side swap, really. Russell Sage will stay in the blue, and for right now, they've got the Sigma comp coming out.
They do, but it's not the variation that we've been seeing in pro play a lot of. They don't have that Lucio for speed. Instead, they have Zenyatta, who I think is in an interesting spot. Got a bit of a nerf and a buff. You got longer range on your orbs, or your Harmony Orb for specifically, but it, or exactly the Orb of Discord, but it also doesn't, you can't apply it to the same target after 7 seconds. There is a bit of a cooldown in a way with that now, so they're going to go for more of a poke instead of the ability to speed around the point, which means actually Sunican can potentially just ignore this high ground and just run through it and take the point. It's Russell Sage won't be able to rotate nearly as fast, and they've already lost their Baptiste, so this is looking great for Sunican.
Yeah, this is looking great for them. Headshot onto the Baptiste already. So, hey, good start for you. Now they're just going to play a backup scenario, especially with the Zenyatta. Got to protect that, especially if you want that Orb of Discord. Ghosty's going to take a different position here, take it up on the high ground, maybe look for a head or two. Notices that the Bastion as well as the Soldier are up there. It's just going to waste away this Sigma for right now. They know they've got the high ground, just a dive up for the D.Va for right now. Ghosty gets rid of the immortality field. Can he find a headshot on the Bastion, especially in first form? That's a little bit more difficult. And now it's just a throwaway on the rock. Ghosty finds DJ, so now that's the DPS gone. But back in the game comes the Baptiste. But Promise, though, the double headshot duo known as Promise as well as Ghosty wasting away. But Jag and Seal can turn this right around. They've got 3 kills already. Life Weaver gone. They turn this right back on Suni Canton and Russell Sage. What's up the fence?
And this is disaster for Sunican. They get that first initial pick, but they don't rotate quick enough. They take so long to get the objective. I mean, already a minute and a half is going to be burned off the clock, but also they get the first initial pick on the second fight that they start. But they just, again, they don't have the follow-up, so they're getting picks. Ghosty, in particular, has been absolute menace so far on this Widowmaker, and they get another one, but they haven't even gotten a tick yet. They need to get something from the point here to make this worthwhile.
Gotta get something out of it now or never, because you got a big Tracy or damage down. Zayo's out. So now it's going to be the Gravitic Flux Dust. Nano Boost is out from Toomey. Is this going to find anything? Tree of Life is out from Sergeant, but it might be too little too late here. You've lost Sekirov on this Ana, so now the self-destruct comes out. Goodbye, DJ. Goodbye, Hobo. And goodbye, Soj. It's a 3K for Toomey. 2 on the self-destruct, 1 on the sit-down. And Suni Captain's going to get at least the point here and give themselves another 2.5 to the bank.
Oh, this is huge. They finally are able to close out on this first point. It does take about half their time bank before all is said and done, and I do believe there's a world where maybe they can get it done a bit sooner, but regardless, a win is a win. They get a point captured. They're showing a lot of signs of life, and that momentum that I think we started to see them build up on Lijiang Tower is carrying over into this map, which is huge to see. Sometimes you see teams get deflated after they start to make that comeback and then aren't able to keep it going later on, but here you can see they're getting back into the swing of things. They're really starting to get this cart moving.
See if they can get it moving even more. Now you have a lot more open space for the Widowmaker. Question is, can he take advantage of it? Here comes the artillery strike, which is just going to target the Widowmaker. Okay, Ghost. Okay, all right. Devious like, okay, Ghost, let's just get you out of this. It felt a little bit personal. Yeah, you're right. It felt like, okay, you got me once. I'm not going to let you get me again. That's a huge Bionate, by the way, with 4 people inside of it. And the Transcendence comes just a little bit too late. Wouldn't have mattered anyways. But now it's just going to be Truby upstairs. He's going to get life, so just the first few measures for right now, but that can be good for the fight. And now Chumi just taking care of Hobo means no more Discord and no more getting rid of that entirely. But wait, Chumi's playing very aggressively right now. You can figure out that this is a trade fight at the moment. Dragon's available for Promise. Gravitic Flux not available just yet at 25%, but Jag is able to take care of Promise. That means they have to back off for right now.
I think this is still a win overall for the side of Sunican. They get out the Transcendence, they get out the Amplification Matrix at the very tail end of it when the fight was mostly over. So that's a big utility that's gone. They do swap over the Kiriko, so maybe that Transcendence usage was more just to get it out of the way anyway. But Sunican, for the first time, feels like they're up big. I mean, Self-Destruct about to be online, not too far away for Infrasights. They got Dragon Strike, they've got Nano about to be online. They have so much to work with here. And Russell Sage, they're continuously making swaps. They've also gone to the Genji now. They might be starting to find a bit of a footing on defense, and Sunican should have the tools to break this wide open once again.
If they do, Nanaboost goes right onto Chumi to start this one off. Dives right in for the humans. Has to back up with the micro missiles for right now. No more immortality field because Loach is gone. However, they do have the self-destruct for the reset. Good life grip there. That gets rid of the immortality field. Grip takes care of it, and now Chumi back in neck. Gravitic Flux is going to be up. Is this going to find anything? No, it will not. Everybody back away just in time. It's going to be the D.Va falling oh so low. Chumi's going to fall out of neck, and this might be the turnaround that Russell Sage won. Even if you lose one, it's not going to be enough. Zayo takes care of Chumi. No more dive potential, and they're going to have to back away for right now. Kangaroo stopped again with 2 minutes left.
The difference between a good team and a great team is that a great team can win when they are down. They can win when they don't have the resources on their side, and there somehow, some way, just like we saw in the first point, despite being down in numbers, despite not having the ult advantage, they win out once again. They are playing this high ground really, really well. I would like to see the Nano not go on to the D.Va. I think it would be much more useful in something like the Sojin when they're overclocking to go for that damage over just sustainability and kind of tankiness. But I don't even know if there's going to be time to build that up. There's only about a minute and a half left, and they are struggling to break this hold.
The Dragon Strike goes down the middle of the lane, not far enough though, because that kind of just splits the team, but puts the team on the right side still. And now it's going to be the Biotic Grenade that hits. Also the Tactical Visor out alongside of the blade. Every ultimate being pulled out here that was available, but it's going to be on the side of Russell Sage that wins this one out. The Tac Visor plus the blade. Zayo's got at least one. Blade's got the mech. This is going to be pretty much it, unless this Tree of Life can turn things around here, because Ghosty's taking care of Hobo, but it's not going to be enough. At Matrix is going to do a lot of damage. Ghosty can do all they can to pick off 2. It's still not enough. Sunny Canton sent back with a minute left.
Another Ant Matrix having to be used at the last second. A desperation usage that does win the fight, but leaves them with a little bit less to use going forward. Sunny Canton now trying to make some last-second swaps, maybe going for this Bastion pick, not going to the Soldier, so they're giving it all they got, because this is essentially going to be last fight territory. They actually almost have that overclock online. That's a great sleep. Can it be followed up on? It does not look like it with the shield blocking that anti-nade, but I'd love to see them use the combination, but no, Ghosty falls!
Ghosty falls early on, so nothing doing here, for at least for the damage side, unless Promise can get something going. Nadabu's available for second round. Doesn't get to use it. Actually does get it onto Jumi at the last second, but second round's gone. That's a lot of your big healing down, so Jumi's going to have to do something big here. Gets rid of 2 in the backline. 10 seconds left to go, so Jumi's going to have to fight for this. Does have to self-destruct to keep them preoccupied for a little while. As long as you can stay alive, you've won this one out. There's going to be the protection. Suzu gone, and DJ sat on by the mech. Jumi could turn this all the way right around here. Ghosty's going to pull out the overclock to take care of Jag for right now. Jag's just got to dance around for his team. Mortality field is there, but Jag is not going to last much longer. It's going to be showtime and prime time here. Question is, can they get it down to the final meter? Spawner in favor of Russell Sage for right now. They backed him off. Now it's just going to be the backup gang for right now into the final 5 meters. Genshin's going to dive right in. Jag is going to switch on over to the Ramatra instead, and Sekhiron's got rid of CJ, so this is the fight they want. They could win 2 straight fights. Promise has found 2, and yes, sir, they found 90 seconds back on the bank.
Oh, what a fight. What a turnaround. Jumi's is absolutely carrying their squad right now, the self-destruct. But the fact that they've gotten 2 rematch kills is absolutely insane. And it's a huge part of why they're able to continue this push. They don't have a lot of time to work with, so getting a full capture here, not looking the most likely, but the fact that they've gone this far with how those first 2 points have gone, absolutely phenomenal. And now they force Russell Sage onto the Ramatra again. I'm really surprised of how much Ramatra we're seeing. It does not seem like he'd be the power pick right now, but now Russell Sage gonna try to make it work themselves.
I'll agree with you there. It doesn't seem like Ramatra is really the meta pick at all, or at least the pick that I would think in this case. But DJ's now going to bring out the blade. He's going to get at least Ghosty, but how much more other than that? And it's going to be Promise just looking upstairs for Zayo, who they do take care of in the end, but now it's just going to be the dive on Potential. It's going to be the Ramatra running away here. Ramatra's going to stay alive thanks to the Immortality Field and the help from Soch. So now we're in the final home stretch here where they just got to regroup in time, and this is going to be a crazy last fight.
It is Coalescence self-destruct for Sunny Canton, almost the tree as well as Visor. They're just going to go into the Coalescence right away.
Pull on the Coalescence, but the Tac Visor might take care of that. Behind the entire application matrix is Zayo, who takes care of 3. Self-destruct has to be big. It is big! It takes care of Zayo, and so we're back to a 2v2 situation. There's the spawn room in favor of Russell Sage. Jag takes care of Ghosty thanks to the Annihilation. Isn't going to be enough. It might just be as they get rid of the D.Va and they get rid of everybody else. Nobody is going to be able to touch that unless somebody gets to there faster. Jag gets rid of Jumi on the Annihilation and gets rid of Promise just before they're able to touch the cart. And Sunny Canton denied access in the final moments, but what a crazy final fight.
That Visor was so well timed through the Ant Matrix. You could see the Moira from Sunny Canton was trying to push past it, but gets caught in it right as they go through. And right there is that huge advantage that Russell Sage needed. They have the spawn advantage already, so getting that big pick onto the support of Sunny Canton, negating all of that healing, and what is already a very heal-heavy comp that Sunny Canton was running between the Moira as well as the Life Weaver. And you thought for just a second, even with all of that, Russell Sage might still lose that with that huge self-destruct. We were looking at Zeo's POV. The reason they got caught out there is because it's all LOS, it's all line of sight. So even though they were hiding, their legs were still visible under the cart by the bomb. That's how they got caught there. But it still wasn't enough. It was so back and forth. It was on a knife's edge the entire time, and Russell Sage with that spawn advantage, They pull it out. They stop the full capture, which is so important, considering that they were looking a lot less sure of themselves than they did on Lijiang Tower. Now the win condition has been set. Just get it a little bit further than Sunny Cannon did. Try to get it up to that 2-0, or will Sunny Cannon, well, they have done enough to force a 1-1 tie and at least a map 4.
Yeah, it seemed like Student Canton was a little bit out of it too, because of that, what looked to be final fight territory, and then all of a sudden they turned on the Jets towards the end. But Russell Sage, knowing that they wasted away enough time, needed only to win one. So if you're Russell Sage, if you're the Gators right now, you're grateful that Jag had the annihilation and was able to stay up. But if Jag was gone there, that's a team wipe, and that's pretty much all 3 points capped. So if you're Russell Sage, you're breathing a huge sigh of relief right now. Student Canton's turn to defend. Russell Sage's turn to attack, and they're just going to go straight up. They're just going to run right at him, and in fact, they're going to use the Symmetra to just teleport right into the point here. So it's not even going to be an upper battle fight. It's going to be a down below fight right onto the point here, and they're already going to get a tick out of this, I believe, unless somebody contests, which they do for right now. It's going to be the Diva just running right in, but it's the May out from Ghosty that's going to hold on. Dale's also got them held as well. It's going to be the first free tick coming out. It might be more. Hobo's already taking care of Ghosty, and now it's just a back away situation here, seeing if you get any more damage, and they're just going to let them have this for free, and it's going to be 552. That's one of the quickest takes on Blizzard I've ever seen.
And you can see here the difference between these two teams. When Russell Sage didn't get a pick, they still played the objective. They just ran past the hold that Sunny Cannon was trying to do. When Sunny Cannon had an advantage, they didn't do much with it. I mean, we saw early on in their 0.1 take, they really struggled to actually capture the point despite getting those picks right off the get-go. So the objective play has been just a bit better from Russell Sage. That's how they won that first map when they got the C9, or they forced the C9, whatever happened there from Sunny Cannon. They didn't touch the objective. There are going to be some late picks, so at least some of that time bank's going to be eaten away now on the defense of Sunny Cannon after giving it up. But it's looking really good for Russell Sage so far with just this really quick tempo play.
Yeah, so far so good for Russell Sage in the moment, but now they've just got to hold this on and make it all the way down to 5 minutes. Sunny Canton's got to do what the near impossible will be, trying to hold this team. And right now, Mr. Hobo's going to say, well, let's make it even harder here as they just push them back. Hobo through the wall is going to be able to take care of that Bastion of Promise. Ghosty's at 90% to a Dragon Strike. Can they build it up in time, though? The Chrome's also got the Nano Boost, which has been onto Chubby for most of this game. See if they decide to put that onto the Bastion when they come back. Ghosty has the Dragons available. See if they decide to use it. Meanwhile, Russell Sage still coming up on their ultimates. Photon Barrier will be up in just a couple of moments. Another long-range sleep card from Sekra. This is just getting impressive at this point from a long range that they've got. Chubby's going to use the rockets and go right into DJ. So the boosting rocket takes care of him. Dragon Strike down the middle is able to take care of Zeo as well. And this is going to be a backup situation for Russell Sage. So Sunny Canton's got a defense.
Yeah, right now Sunny Canton, they should be able to win this one. They get potentially a huge elimination onto at least the Baptiste, maybe onto the Ramatra. There it is. So they're killing time. They, like you said, like there was a huge time bank that Russell Sage started with, and they're already down to 4 minutes, which is still quite a bit of time overall. But the fact that it's like been 2 minutes gone and Russell Sage has only gone about halfway through is pretty huge. Sunny Canton, they still have ultimates to use as well. The Life Weaver ultimate could be a huge counter to the Ramatra ultimate once it comes out. It's going to do healing AoE, which, you know, counters exactly what Ramatra's trying to do, which is damage over time in an AoE. So they have the tools to continue to hold this one out for a little bit longer, and they're trying to take this high ground.
Annihilation are ready to use here, used by Jag here. Decides not to use it as of right now. There's only one around. Transcendence is used very early on for Mr. Hobo. Is this going to be enough? Self-destruct is in the back line. Is anybody able to escape? Yes, everybody drops down for Russell Sage, so they're back in this, but now they just drop down on the card, and Jag's in a lot of trouble. This team is split up all which way you look. Zeo does take care of the mech, however, does pay the price for it with their life. So now it's just the go ahead and just wrap around here. The pinch out. Spark's not going to move any further. It's a backup situation, though you do take care of Chumi. Is this a go button? It might just be.
You also get the late pick onto Ghosty. Now you've got your Ramatra back. You know the tank won't be there for just a little bit. You teleport to the high, you're going to take it over. And again, you've just seen this time and time again where Russell Sage seems to win these fights, or at least like win these engagements where they really shouldn't be. There is going to be a Dragon Strike to once again try to cut them off, but Russell Sage, they might get the point for free once more, and there it is, 2 points given.
Yeah, 2 points given. Zeo's going to go ahead and just use the attack visor for basically what is insurance at this point. Is able to get 3 kills, but 4 minutes on the clock. This seems like a very tall mountain to climb, especially where that payload is just at the end of the map. And 4 minutes, lots of time, but Russell Sage coming up on 2 ultimates, Sunny Canton coming up on 3. But again, 4 minutes, lots of time, Jag.
Oh, so much time to work with going into this third point, especially knowing that they don't even have to fully capture this last objective. They only have to get it pretty close, but not all the way, so not too shabby whatsoever. And I think you have to feel confident for Russell Sage, because every time you've been down, Ultimate's members, you've still generally found a way to win these wins out. You do lose one, and you do use your Animators in kind of a funky position, but maybe they can win this again.
See if they do. They get rid of Zayo earlier on here in this fight. It's going to be artillery strike that forces out the immortality field. So now the Transcendence is also used. Russell Sage's only full-time barrier left to go. That might be all they need. They get rid of Ghosty early on in this fight as well. So now it's just going to be the full-time barrier out, just kind of denying them any space. That D was so far deep into the team that they cannot get out. So 3 minutes left to go. They might not even need all this. And look at the play by DJ, just playing all the way in the back. And thinking give her that teleporter, that'd be huge. Tree of Life is put up just to save some base here. But the Tree of Life is now gone. Golden Box is there. Nobody's touching, and that's it. Nobody touches the point, and it's like happens again. Suni Canton gets off the point. Guys, you cannot do that in Final Fight territory. And Russell Sage is now on series point.
Yeah, Russell Sage, I don't know if they've been given a gift or they're just that good, but regardless, Suni Canton has not been able to find the objective in the last few fights. I mean, every point they gave up here, they were not fully up. There was usually 3 to 4 members at the very least alive, so there were opportunities for them to fight it out. Maybe they get a lucky fight win like we've seen from their counterpart Russell Sage, where they're winning even though they're down numbers. But it just seems like I'm not sure, maybe they're too afraid of losing their lives, but sometimes you just got to throw bodies at the objective and hope for the best. And that was definitely one of those scenarios. The first point, they did get walled off and pushed back. Second point, they were just too far back towards their spawn side. But this third point, like, this is do or die. Like, you know, you've already lost that first map. You know that you have to fight back somewhat in this series to not make it potentially a 3-0 sweep. And they have people alive. Like, they have numbers. It's, again, not the most winnable scenario. Like, there's still a very likelihood that they end up losing it, but they're not even giving themselves a chance to fight back. They're not giving themselves a chance to turn it around.
It doesn't help when you've got a lot of good players, especially on Russell Sage's side. We take a look at Zayo's stats real quick, because Zayo's been an absolute monster thus far on this map. And you can take a look at the map there, 19 eliminations, but that big number, final blows 15, is the biggest one I wanted to point out, because at the right there, 15 was the second highest final blows besides Ghosty on the other side of this, who was on the Hanzo and the Soldier. But that was because Ghosty was playing the one-shot characters earlier on. But for the Soldier to have 15 final blows and that much damage dealt, I mean, that's amazing in itself to play, especially when the games just happen quick like that in a 3-2. So well done to Zayo so far. But now Russell Sage up 2-0. Seems like that 4-1 wasn't really to be scoffed at, I guess, because 4-1 record seems to be proving itself already 1 map point away from basically what I would say guaranteeing themselves in the playoffs, because 10 points is what would be a pretty safe number to get inside of that ECAC standings. Meanwhile, Suni Canton, again, playing for what very well could be that elimination zone at a 2-4 record. Best you can get is a 4-4, which would be the minimum to get to the 8 points if you were to win out the rest of the season. But again, that's if you win out the rest of the season as well, should you drop this map. So next map coming up here is going to be pretty interesting to see for Suni Canton, because Suni Canton's on the back foot here. They lost Blizzard World, which didn't play the Reinhardt like we thought earlier on, because that Reinhardt was so good on Lijiang Tower, but now they have to play into a push map here. So, I mean, a push map can go either way, and as we've seen neutral points thus far, it was Russell Sage that won that out pretty handily 2-0 on Lijiang Tower. So 3 maps to choose from, Jag. I don't know which one I'm picking if you're Suni Canton.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I think if we're looking at push, I think you probably want to go for New Queen Street or Esperanza. I think you really want to avoid Colosseo, because Colosseo, in my opinion, is the most brawly of the push maps. There's a lot of just like tight corridors. There's a lot of places where you can kind of just like run into someone, where New Queen Street, I say Esperanza especially, has a lot of high ground and a lot of places you can play kind of with that farther back comp. It's Escort though, so we'll have to see if we get to that map for it later on. And with Escort, I would love to see.
Misread it, by the way. Misread it. My fault. Yes, it is Escort. So plenty of options. I thought it was my apologies. I couldn't read in order there. So it is Escort. You're right. So I mean, Escort. I mean, what do you say here? Obviously, because obviously the one fix you would think that would need to be in is don't get off the point, guys. Don't get off the payload if you're going to contest it.
I mean, I would say Circuit Royal. I think Circuit Royal makes the most sense, because it's always kind of been more of that poke map. I will say, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe not, because we did just see Russell Sage play a poke comp pretty well overall. They played the Sigma, and then they moved over to the Ramatra, which I still would say, like, even though I say Ramatra is probably more of a brawl tank, you still have that poke potential, because he does have a ranged primary fire. So I don't know. This is a really tricky one. I mean, usually you see a team, they have like one really good play style, and you said, oh, hey, Brawl is probably what Russell said just get at, but they also brought out the poke. Maybe you try to force out a dive map. I'm not exactly sure what that would look like in Escort. I'm trying to think about all the Escort maps that like are potentially in the pool. I think this is one of the times where I'm really stumped as a color caster, as an analyst, because generally it's like, oh yeah, this would be like the best pick, but I think SUNY Canton probably is a bit stumped themselves because there might not be a good pick against this Russell Sage team, especially not with the different kind of variations and looks that they've shown us so far.
Yeah, it's just been a lot of different looks that they've had. We've seen the Sigma, we've seen the Reinhardt, we've seen on the tank side for Jag at the very least, and then the DPS side, a lot of different looks as well, especially the Genji towards the end there, Blizzard World. But then you look at what SUNY Canton has pulled out so far. I mean, Shumi's been on this D.Va pretty consistently thus far, besides the opening fight that had that Reinhardt combination, or I believe the Sigma combination as well. But regardless, I mean, playing Shumi on this D.Va doesn't seem like the dive combination is really working out. I mean, do you expect either a sub or do you expect kind of a change in pace here, especially depending on the map that we go to?
Yeah, and I'm looking at all the Escort maps right now, and I mean, I think the ones that are kind of like screaming my name would probably be something like Dorado, maybe Route 66, maybe even Watchpoint Gibraltar. Like, I'm looking at these maps, it's kind of like there's a lot of high ground. We've seen London Spitfire themselves play really well in Watchpoint Gibraltar. They unironically said at one point to me that they thought it was their best Escort map because they practiced like all of the symmetric teleports so well. But I think you just have to find a map where like you can play this D.Va and really control that high ground as best as possible. I think Blizzard World was a good pick. I just feel like, again, it's like that objective play that we saw. Like, the map wasn't necessarily the issue. It was kind of just, unfortunately, some of the misplays that they had. They are going to try to make it work on Junkertown, which, again, is more of a poke map than a dive map. So I am a bit concerned. We've seen kind of what they can do on the side of Russell Sage with that Zenyatta, who is like the top, I would say, poke champion right now, because he is a sitting duck, but boy, does he do a lot of damage with that Discord orb. But we'll see if they can make it work. You know, it's now or never. It really is do or die in the series. They're down 0-2. Like you said, they're playing for not only like this series, but really their season, because if they fall down to 2-4, it's going to be really hard for them to climb back up. It's now or never.
Yeah, right now, if you're looking at 2 and 4 teams, there are currently three other teams that are at 2 and 4. So if you fall down to the 2 and 4, you're falling into a really slippery situation to try to get into the top 16 cap. There is. Meanwhile, for a 4 and 1 team like Russell Sage, thus far, you're looking at 4 teams being combined alongside, or 3 teams combined alongside with them, with St. Andrews, Roger Williams, as well as Cumberland as alongside Sage. Meanwhile, 7 teams right now totaled up in the 5-0 series, which is the University of Delaware, both their academy and varsity teams at 5-0, Ohio Northern at 5-0, one of their Ohio Northern Overwatch teams as well, Fisher Chips at 5-0, FIU at 5-0, as well as Tiffin at 5-0. I believe this is Plymouth State as well, that's also doing 5-0. So lots of good company up there for Russell Sage. But again, SUNY Canton looking to see if they can avoid the sweep and avoid the broom out of the closet. We go to Junkertown here, and this is a little bit more open space. So with SUNY Canton on the attacking side, you're assuming the Widowmaker is going to come out, and absolutely the Widowmaker comes out. But the big note here is Chumi's not on the D.Va to start this game.
Yeah, I like that they're going to be playing the Sigma. It's this time at the mirror, which gives you a lot more protection overall. And yes, Ghosty Widow once again already paying off dividends. They might not get the final blow for the elimination, but they set that one up.
They did set that one up. Headshot plus a little bit of the Hyper Spears equals depth if you are the Bastion. So DJ gone, and that's going to allow the open door scenario here for SUNY Canton to just walk right in. Ghosty's already at 40%. My, oh my, a lot of shots they've been hitting thus far inside of this game. Now it's just the backup scenario, just playing up top. Immortality field used so early on, but that's not going to matter when you get the trade-out fight. Soch goes down by the hands of Promise, but Dragon Zayo also getting their kills to trade that one out, and now there's a lot of damage being pulled out by the Bastion. Sergeant Nerf out of this fight already and needs to just step in to get with the rest of the team, I should say. That Orb of Discord just doing so much work right now, especially in this fight. Another Immortality field gone as they just trade back and forth, but really nothing doing in terms of big damage here on either side. Promise is looking to change that from the left side as he goes into turret form for the Bastion for right now. Ghosty's got to find a headshot if they want any chance to win this fight at all. Looking for the Baptiste up in the air. My friend, don't jump up like that. You might expose your head just a little bit.
It's getting really dangerous for SUNY Canton because, again, it's like they're basically relying on Ghosty to get a pick. If Ghosty isn't able to find that head, it doesn't like look like getting minutes. They do get a pick though with their Baptiste, so this could be the go button once again. But the positioning is not great for them.
Oh, Gravitic Flux comes up. That's big unless they have something of immortality. They don't. So it's going to be Jag taking care of Shumi, and it's going to be the Sigma right there to take care of business. It's a wipeout for the rest of the team. Team kill comes up for Russell Sage as they put up the fence with 2:20 left.
And again, SUNY Canton, I think they're struggling a bit with the objective, but this time the objective is target focus. In the fight before this one, they get that first pick right onto the Bastion. They've got a great numbers advantage, and they get Mr. Hobo to literally 10 health, but the target focus isn't there. They are completely split. They are chasing different eliminations, and because of that, they don't get anything. Again, they get this first elimination, so Russell Sage is going to be down one for the third time in a row, for the third fight in a row. But SUNY Canton, they've got to find a way to actually close this one out.
They got to find a way to do something here because they are running out of time, and time quickly passing away. There's going to be the artillery out from DJ. Is this going to find anything? There's a trade-off right now. DJ, again, just getting personal on to the Widowmaker, but Ghosty does go down by the hands of the artillery this time. It's a 2v2 situation. However, spawn rooms are pretty much equal on either side, so if you want, if you're SUNY Canton, you can keep fighting. But with the accuracy of Zayo taking care of Sergeant Derp on the Helix Rockets, that Dream is pretty much dead at this point. It's just a waste away as the Bastion, the Soldier, line them up. And as well as Toomey getting Mr. Hobo, it's not going to land up too much as Jag moves on over to the Doomfist. Can they turn this around is the question, though. Jag on the Doomfist says, no, not quite yet, my friend. They turn him back.
I mean, this is good, I think, for the side of SUNY Canton, forcing this Doomfist, this emergency Doomfist, to get back to the point and finish off this fight. Because even though they are 60% into the Meteor Strike, I don't think Doomfist is in the best spot right now. I would love to see, though, like a Sombra come out again, which we saw from Ghosty before, that could really mitigate this Doomfist getting any sort of value. They're just making more and more swaps now. The Diva as well coming out to play as the Hanzo. They're running out of time, like you said. They do have ultimates to use, but they don't really have any prime targets to use them on because of how Russell Sage is playing. They're playing very protective right now.
Oh boy, there's going to be another application matrix from Soch, and now Shumi's out of mech again, so not good. However, it's good if Ghosty's going to hit shots like this. Tac Visor from Zayo's out in the back line. That's going to help you out alongside of an Orb of Discord, and now Zayo's just going to pop off one another play of the game here. Ghosty gets the headshot on Zayo. It's not even going to matter much. 23 seconds left to go. I don't know if they have enough time.
That was not... Yeah, it was the Continue Rush and the Visor, and they lost to the Visor on the other side from Zayo. Zayo, as you pointed out with those stats, absolutely been a monster in this series. And now they've given their team a chance to get a full hold here on the first point. Russell Sage only has a Meteor Strike to use, but that might be all they need. Can anyone touch? Again, don't end it like this.
Oh, no, it's it again. It's it again. Shumi went up with the Diva, went up to the second floor without realizing that the team wasn't. Oh no, this can't happen a third time, man.
This is the fourth time now.
Oh, this fourth? Yeah, you're right. Oh my goodness.
All 3 points on Russell Sage's attack were C9 by SUNY Canton. The last point on Lijiang Tower on Gardens, and now here on the first point of Junker Town. They throw the Diva in. They send Shumis so far deep into the backline, but that is your main touch. No one else is that mobile on your comp for SUNY Canton.
You know, I mean, I know the joke is it's been 0 days, but with the SUNY Canton right now, it's been 0 minutes since the last one, because, I mean, that's, like you said, that's been the fourth one. You could argue has been a non-touch, and right now SUNY Canton needed to do what, I mean, you could say is what is a near impossible task of holding out Russell Sage the way they've been playing so far, especially on the fact that they didn't even get a single point. They got at least they got 2 points on Blizzard World, but you're running with 0 here.
Yeah, it is. You're not giving yourselves a lot of room for error. Like on Blizzard World, like you're saying, like there's a lot of time. You can give up like the second point, you can give up the first point, but it's that third point that they couldn't give up, which unfortunately did. But here, like they lose 2 fights, and it's basically over. See, like 2 to 3 fights depending on where they want to hold in this defense, and because they're holding so far back, I mean, if you get past that second area of high ground, like it's down to 1 fight territory for SUNY Canton. So they have to win. They have to win a lot. They can only lose really once or twice at best, and they cannot get staggered. Like they all have to fall together. If they get staggered, it'd be disastrous. But already, DJ for the first time bringing out the Widow and putting away Ghosty, who has been absolutely dominant.
Disastrous was the word you were using there. I would say that's the start to it. Orb of Discord, my oh my, this Orb of Discord has been so good thus far. And the Orb of Discord, folks, remember, got a little bit of a change here within the recent days where it cannot be removed, or it cannot be put on the same target after 7 seconds. So their target prio is just that good for Russell Sage as of right now. So with 3 minutes and 20 seconds, I would say this is final fight territory already. This Zard can only do so much work here, especially against the Reinhardt scenario where they can just run down. However, Ghosty gets the revenge onto DJ for right now, so this is a good start for you with the rundown from Shumi to get the laser down onto Soch as well. And it's just an all-over battle here. There's Reinhardt's in a lot of trouble. Just staying at that little health, needs the help from the Zenyatta. Does get a little bit of help there. Sergeant does go down, trying to 1v1 that Reinhardt for a little while, but getting rid of the Orbit Discord is huge, and Suni Canton puts up a fence well needed.
Yeah, just in the nick of time, too. Ghosty does get the pop off, the answer back, the revenge kill, which shuts down DJ, and they're going to swap now again, so no more poke. They want to go back to the tried and true Ryan Symmetra strat that worked so well in the Junk Tower that got them that 2-0 that shut Suni Canton out for most of the map. And, I mean, the point is just theirs to take right now. Where are they going to try to teleport is the question. It looks like they're going to try to go behind them.
They are. That's going to be for the Ana as well as Widowmaker, but is that going to be enough, though? They're just going to rush them right down, and they are going to be successful in rushing them right down. It's going to be the speed boost from Zeo that takes care of Sergeant. Lucio falls also low. Lucio gets out, and now it's just going to have to be the hero play. Chumi is all that is left in the backline. 2 minutes left to go. Can the Zarya hold on for dear life? I don't know if this is going to be the play here. That's going to be the Zarya down. 4 meters left to go. Nobody's going to be able to touch the point. And the broom is out of the closet. 2 minutes done in Junkertown. That's it. The Gators have the 5-1 record as they sweep the series.
And I gotta say, Suni Canton, they've got the components. Like, I honestly think that individually they played really well. These players definitely have the skills needed to make this a winning team. It just seems like the teamwork isn't necessarily there at some point. It seems like they're maybe not sure how to execute some comps, or maybe the calls aren't good enough on rotations, on target focus, things like that, because they get eliminations. Like, they got a lot of first picks in these fights. They just never were able to capitalize on them. They were never able to actually use that to their advantage to win out these objectives, to win out the full fight. And then the good news at the end is that it wasn't a C9, but there were so many times where they just didn't have the objective in mind, where they let it go, where they weren't there quick enough, and that led to either them not capturing as fast as they should have, or just giving up the map, giving up the objective fully to their opponent. And Russell Sage, they took advantage of that every time. They did not let off the gas pedal for a moment, and they used it quite well to their gameplay and their strategy.
Yeah, well, and I love the fact that you said the good news there was they didn't see 9. I feel like that's the only piece of good news that Suni Canton had the entire time. Getting Gators coming up with a big 3-0 sweep. They're advancing them on to a 5-1 record. We'll give you an update for the rest of the ECAC. We're going to take a short break, though. Right after that, we'll give you the update. Plus, we'll see if we have an interview from the winning team of the Russell Sage Gators. You're watching the ECAC right here on Esports U. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. Clutchkey alongside, well, I would say Jag, but I have to call it Jesse now because coming up in our interview right here inside of the caster booth is Jag, the tank you just saw from the Russell Sage Gators. Jag joining us right now. So Jesse will be the color caster, but Jag here joining us. So this is a little confusing. We have two Jags in here, so I have to call it as it is. But Jag from Russell Sage, thank you very much for joining us. How great is it to be 5-1 in the ECAC? As tough as the competition is in the ECAC, how good does it feel to be 5-1 and pretty much guaranteed to be in the playoffs? Oh, and I think something is, I think we're muted on one side. Not too sure what's going on here, but hold on one second as we're getting things all together here and just making sure that everything works on our end. But anyways, can you try just making sure you heard us the first time? Looks like they're inside of the arena right now. Don't know if they can, don't know if Jag from Russell Sage can hear me. Might be the headset. We don't know as of right now. But anyways, we'll go back to the 2-cam for right now here as we try to get things underway. Meanwhile, let's while we try to get things situated for you, let's give you an update from the rest of the ECAC. So far, so in the schedule right now, we have a couple of games that have already finished up. Courtesy of forfeits, I guess you could say. Ohio Northern getting the forfeit win over Florida International Blue. Meanwhile, the other game that did go forfeit was Muskingum over the Otters Overwatch with that win loss there. St. Francis as well, actually one of the other ones. St. Francis getting the forfeit win over George Fox. Meanwhile, a couple of games live right now. You just saw Sage versus Student Canton coming up here. A couple of games in progress, and actually 4 of them completed. Actually, some of these happening offline. Tiffin Varsity beating the George Washington, I believe that's George Washington team, going there 3-0. Couple of sweeps as well. University of Delaware stays at the 5-0 record, 3-0 over Nichols. Florida International with that 3-0 over Albany as well, and University of Louisiana Lafayette 3-0 over PSU. So, meanwhile, you got plenty of different things going on right now. As you see another game actually live right now. CCSU, the Blue Devils leading St. Andrews right now 2-0, but that's all the updates we have for you right now. And actually, just one more coming up. The University of Delaware beating Kane 3-0, and I believe that's the Academy team that gets the win. So plenty of numbers are running over here right now. But meanwhile, I believe we are back. So joining us right now again, not Jesse, my Jag right here, my partner here, but it's actually Jag from Russell State, and I think he can hear us loud and clear right now. So Jag, thank you very much for joining us. I'll restate the question that I was going to ask you earlier on. But how good does it feel for your team to be 5-1 right now inside of the ECAC and basically putting yourselves in a spot for the playoffs coming up after round 8?
Yeah, it's honestly great to be able to be in this position, considering how hard of a division it is. Like, half the teams we play against are top 500. Being able to be locked into the playoffs this early is great for us. Especially, we can just focus on playing new metas. We don't have to win our next maps. It's awesome.
Absolutely, and congratulations, like what we were saying, most likely locked in already. But I gotta ask, it's been a bit of a journey. Last week in particular, you ended up losing. So what was your mentality to kind of get back in the swing of things and get this win here today?
So as soon as we lost that map, we looked at what was wrong. We realized we need to just play faster. And as we worked on our rollouts and whatever, we love playing Brawl. We started rolling out and just playing Dive Brawl. As soon as we started running that, we started rolling teams, especially in scrims.
Yeah, you guys played really fast, really furious today. We saw it. We saw the aggression, and I think that was a big part of how you're able to get this really nice 3-0 victory. But I got to ask also, there was some interesting choices by your opponent. When you saw them not touch the point, like, what was your team's reaction? Was that something that you thought were like forcing out yourselves, or you were making plays that just made them unable to? Or did you think it was kind of just like their play style just wasn't allowing them to get to the objective in time?
Honestly, I think they weren't playing that fast, and I'm not trying to be toxic here. They did seem a little scared at the end. That's not their fault, though. We were just playing a lot faster. I think they knew we had an ult advantage, so they were nervous to touch the point at the end there. I think that's what really stopped them from touching.
Yeah, Jag from the Russell Sage team joining us right now. And yes, folks, you are seeing two Jags underneath your screen, but the Jag from the Russell Sage Gators joining us right now. Meanwhile, one last question for you, Jag, here. As we get into the rest of the season, you guys are 5-1, 10 points on the board, but now you're coming up against two very tough teams here. Both in next week, you guys are going to be playing the University of Delaware Academy team. That's the Blue Hens that I believe are currently undefeated, 6-0 right now, looking at 12 points. You guys are looking at 10. Meanwhile, the last match for you guys inside of this elite division would be Ohio Northern. That team also 6-0 as well. So knowing the challenges you guys have up ahead, what's going to be the key for you to get those last 2 wins in the last 2 weeks of the regular season?
We're going to play our game, and we're going to play as fast as we possibly can. Keep playing our comps and keep winning.
Yep, just keep rolling along like the Gators have done in these previous matches. Jag, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate it, and good luck here in the last 2 rounds and into the playoffs as well.
Of course. Thank you for having me, guys. Have a good one.
You too. Jag joins us from Russell Sage, and Jag casting, rather, I should say. Jesse, what do you think about that? The lots of confidence coming out from Russell Sage right now, and well worth it.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. They said it. I mean, Jag said it himself. Like, they had a game plan, play fast, and they stuck to it. And you could see in their execution, they knew exactly what they were going to do, when they were going to do it, and how they were going to do it. And I think he brought up a great point. Like, SUNY Cannon did seem a little bit nervous, a little bit shaken. They had some advantages that they just couldn't capitalize off of. And I think the big thing is they have to keep this confidence rolling, because they have some very difficult opponents in their future. But if they keep playing as they have, if they can keep playing the game they want to, who knows? They could be the ones giving the first loss to their upcoming opponents, Delaware and Ohio Northern.
Yeah, I guess you could say with this first match here, as confident as they are this November 1st patch, they are fearless, and they have a perfect night going on as well. 3-0 your final score. Russell Sage able to take down SUNY Canton, moving on to a 5-1 record. Shout out to our producer, Coltoon 2000, as well as the Observer, known as Cool Scoots. Thank you very much, guys, for your hard work back in the studio. For Jesse, a.k.a. Jag, #1 here in the caster booth. Alongside him, my name is Clutchy. Thanks so much for joining us. Coming up later tomorrow, you will see ECC Valorant, as well as Molloy University taking on Utica University. That match coming up tomorrow for ECC. Don't want to miss out on that, coming up on a great Thursday night. Thanks to everybody for watching, and until next time, take care, everybody.
Instead, that's nice to see. So even though we haven't seen North Georgia really be able to march forward with a lot of convincing attacks, at least the back line up until now has been secure. Can't get the read on the bounce, and that's finally our first goal. 10 seconds to go for Kennesaw trying to close this one out.
Yeah, still with the pressure here from Kennesaw. Now only our second demo. This one from downtown, and that's going to be an own goal here at 3 seconds. We spoke a little too soon here, Danger Talk. Slavip left side, little tap, not really taking away possession. Now definitely does. This player going up, the double tap. Dog and North Georgia come from behind victory with the Puma symbol on the side.
As we've seen many time with new rosters in the beginning of the semester, this might be the first time these players are really playing together at all. So this really set the tone for how you guys all click together. Kwong trying to bury one here on the near post, and he does just that. Better. Might be able to pad those stats. Kwong throwing it right back in. That should be open, but it's just wide instead.
Almost gets the nose down onto it. A couple members fighting, twisting, and now an open net the other way going for North Georgia. Nobody's almost hitting payload. Now is Joel. A little soft hit right there. Kind of just puts it in the breadbasket of a couple North Georgia players. That's really, really bad as this one comes all the way down from the other side.
Being able to con the defense out of a clear that gets you the ultimate goal, as we will be able to enter into that 1-1. Maybe not for long as that clear gets away. Dog into Archie, and well worked from North Georgia. Safe to the side. They're feeling like heroes. They're keeping it up. Slavip into the ceiling. Sharky doesn't get it. Joel with a deflection. It's Quonk at 0. Dog in the way. Another save. North Georgia will very much so take that ball hitting the grass. Overtime somehow.
Now coming up for the serve. Dog down. That's a bouncer just a little bit too high though as Sharky tries to continue the theme. Down bottom. And Archie does it here for North Georgia. Set up all day long. Now shoots in right now, but Quonk is going to win that 50. He's screaming off to the side.